This is a replay of the open mic community space for NBA 2K23 from April 25th, 2023. Thanks for listening. We are stacking Tuesdays officially at this point. Number 25. Sheesh. Space 25. Silver. So is that like a silver space anniversary? First off, thanks to everyone who has liked, retweeted, quote tweeted, listened live, listened to a replay, watched a YouTube video, or spoke. I want to say thank you. All I've done is wanted to copy people. Everything I've done, I wanted to copy people, not who they are, but what they've done. I've made it very clear to anybody that's been part of this process that's been inspired by the Dan Patrick Show, the Dan Le Batard Show. As far as the show format, as far as getting people interacting, talking to each other. And of course, Howard Stern and Sean Evans from Hot Ones, the long form interview where you're able to get to know people a little more. That's probably my favorite thing about this. And then last but certainly not least, Jazz's podcast that showed me that, you know, we can make 2K, we can make a video game interactive. Not only just interactive, but social, like 100% social. They get on a space and talk about a game and life and everything like that. You know, that's what we're here for. And then even before that, I do want to shout out and the people that know what this means. If you know, you know. That's what I'm saying. But anybody that was involved in the Woodshed Think Tank, the DM group that it was just bouncing ideas off of each other for weeks before, you know, we figured out what we're going to do. So thank you to everybody that's been part of it. And Jimmy, thank you too. How are you doing?
I'm good, Tim. How are you doing? No, you don't have to thank me for anything, but I appreciate you having me.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just I labeled I'm always trying to Evo the space, and so I labeled my notes. I got my intro that's off to the side here. And then, of course, I got my speakers and spoken to try to keep track somewhat of people that have spoken.
Yep.
I got the questions, of course. And then I was going to label the first one Chit Chat, but the pen made me label it Waffle House. So
Oh, no.
the first part, I'm just thinking of 25. We made it to 25. That's wild.
That is wild. First of all, you need to get a new pen.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary.
Hey, I do what the material dictates. That's it. I don't guide the material guides me. And last but not least, on the Waffle House here, I want to thank IJ Josh for the interview on Friday. And I shouldn't say last but not least on the Waffle House, but my portion of the beginning of the Waffle House. And to the previous 6 interviews, to the scheduled 2 interviews, and to the unscheduled 2 interviews in the future. I've been looking at some things and I've been talking to some people. In fact, I'm really excited with this one graphic designer I've been DMing with. So no money's been exchanged yet, just in case the wife is wondering, but it's just chit chatting. And got Cabrillo this Friday as far as interviews. I'm pretty excited about that because
I mean, he has a really, really interesting backstory. He's such a unique backstory, man. I'm excited for folks to learn more about it.
He does. I'm excited for myself to learn more about him. You know, even way back to the old spaces in October when he told Xbox to keep his wife's name out their mouth officially in a tweet.
Legendary moment.
Yeah, that kind of got the ball rolling for 2K23, I thought.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's going to go in the documentary, but I would say, you know, that kind of got things going.
It was easily a Mount Rushmore moment for me this year. I mean, that was a classic moment. I remember exactly where I was that day. I was here in my apartment, not touching grass. So there you go.
Hey, that's solid. That's solid. That's a good way to keep track of yourself. You know, Is that the ultimate alibi?
Exactly. Exactly. They can't find me here.
And one thing I do want to, I know this is a 2K space, but it is a community space, and I think we all understand. We talk a little bit about more than just 2K, and not a spoiler or anything, but have you heard of this Jimmy Butler guy?
Yeah, yeah, I have actually.
Yeah. Talk about. I haven't been able to watch a whole lot of sport recently. You know, I get busy doing other things and work and everything, but I was lucky enough to watch the majority of that game. And watching somebody decide from tip that they're not going to lose
Yep.
was amazing.
He's unreal, man. He's just unreal. He finds another gear in the playoffs, and then he found a gear that I didn't even think he could tap into last night. Here's what you have to understand: the context is important. First of all, Giannis comes back, but then you have to consider his team. Hero has been out since game one. You just learned that Oladipo is going to be out for a long time, and those are the guys that are going to help you out. And what happens? Jimmy goes out there and has one of the greatest playoff performances we've ever seen against the 1 seed. Now the 8 is in prime position to upset the 1. I know it's going back to Milwaukee, but it was crazy, man. Jimmy's my guy ever since 2011, bro.
And yeah, wild. And the reason I bring that up right now is because little side note, I'm going to use and Ramsey. I'm not taking anything from you, Ramsey. I as of let me scroll up because I have my laptop open so I can reference this tweet. As of 7:49 a.m. this morning, I wasn't sure what the space was, kind of the vibes were going to be today. Um, but just thinking about Jimmy Butler,
yeah,
and the performance, uh, then I sent out the tweet, and we'll reference this tweet, and it was right here. Jimmy Butler had an amazing IRL sports story from last night, and that's what it is: a human IRL amazing sports story. He's just a dude out there hooping. He even said it. He's just out there hooping.
exactly.
And, and then I said one time I made All Stars as a top shortstop in the league. I was 12. And that was my amazing IRL sports story. And I know there's other ones and stuff, but that's the first one that comes to my mind. And that's a whole nother story about waking up at 4:30 a.m. to go to practice for 3 weeks straight and not playing in either of the two All-Star games. But that's a whole different
Oh
space.
wow.
Different time. But we all have a story to tell. When was the last time we got to say if I was in this competition and people listened? And whatever competition it was, a spelling bee or whatever it was.
Yep.
We have that moment. We share it with the people that watched it, and maybe it lingers for a little longer, but then it's gone. Unless you're Jimmy Butler, and everybody watches your greatest moments.
Yep.
Because I'm sure you've had some behind the scenes great moments. Whatever competition it was in, and I'm thinking it was probably sport of some sort.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And even in high school, competing in journalism competitions. I have a journalism degree, everybody. But going competing in the state, not just our little region, but in the state, and then competing nationally, which I got to do for 3 years in high school. Competed, had my stuff entered randomly at Butler in different photography stuff, and I was able to win some stuff with that, which is pretty neat. So you're absolutely right, Tim. You forget about that. You just forget. It
You
just
do.
comes and goes. So I mean, you unlocked a memory I didn't have until now with the Butler stuff, especially.
Yeah, exactly. Or even when you go visit home and you see a trophy on your old room that hasn't changed in how
Yep.
long. Or maybe it has changed and you're told to get out your crap out of the garage or they're throwing it away. And so you go dig through a box.
No.
And you're like, oh. And it's straight. I don't know if I'm gonna reference this movie because I don't care because I love this
Okay.
movie. But it's straight National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Chevy Chase in the attic, going through the old stuff and watching the old movies. That's what it is. And everybody should have watched
I
that.
have every last trophy in my room, and you can sit up here and tell me I'm a participation trophy merchant from when I was a kid and all this different stuff, but no, I have them all, and I don't think any of them are going in the garage anytime soon to throw them away. So I've got everything I have, and it is nice because I moved when I was a kid, and a lot of that stuff was kind of just from where I first lived. So It does bring back good memories from my very early childhood.
Oh yeah, and especially if you can combine like a trophy or a medal with a team photo, and you're looking, you don't remember 90% of your teammates' names, but you remember two of them, and you're like, oh yeah, we played Mario Kart or whatever you kids
Yeah,
played.
yeah,
We played Pong
yep,
together.
yep. No, in my basement, there's frames of team pictures from growing up, baseball, basketball, soccer. If you mean freaking me from t-ball back in the day, I'll tell you something totally random. So I bet left-handed, and that's the way I've always bet. But in the picture, they made me bet right-handed when I was playing in t-ball. It's just something always funny to look at because they didn't know how to see kids that were batted left-handed, but I was taught how to bet left-handed at an early age, and so just looking at me bet right-handed is just hilarious, man. I knew it was wrong.
That's funny. That's funny. They thought it was odd, so they made you change. They stand
Yep,
different for the
yep,
picture.
yep, yep. I
Wild.
know.
Is that an early form of communism? I don't know. I
I,
don't know.
from that moment forward, I was like, look, I want to go out there and blaze my own trail in the world, and I just want to lock in and just do my own thing. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna be left-handed from now forever. I'll tell you what. No matter
I
what,
throw
no matter how
right-handed.
much
I
I
don't bat
struggle.
right-handed. There's a difference.
Well, the one other reason I brought up Jimmy Butler, because I'm gonna for the thumbnail, because I'm starting to think about thumbnails for the space when I put it on YouTube. And I'm gonna use a Jimmy Butler card for the
Nice.
thumbnail. And last week I was gonna use a Kobe card for a thumbnail, and I couldn't. I looked at Kobe, and he looked at me, and he said, "Dude, you are not ready." And I said, "All right." And I was talking to Ramsey on the phone, and I changed direction, and we were talking about Hakeem. And I'm thinking Hakeem, okay, maybe Hakeem. And I'm scrolling, I'm thinking maybe I'll find a picture of Hakeem, and I came across Jeff Bezos' assignment
Okay.
of the space questions. And I looked at the assignment, and it looked at me, and it said, "Dude, you are not ready." And so I said, "Ramsey, will you talk to Jeff and see if I can use this for the thumbnail?" And so Ramsey, he cleared it, and we got it all done. And so it turns out in my mind, I was not ready, but in Jeff's mind, we were all ready. And so that will be ever the thumbnail on last week's space. That's how that goes. I try not to plan too far ahead, and some things just happen. I think they're the right moves sometimes.
Hey,
You can only plan so far
that's
ahead,
how it
right?
goes.
Especially in competition.
Exactly. Like I like to plan ahead. I'd like to make a plan, but I mean, you got to be flexible in life, man. You got to be ready for plan B, C, F. You got to
Yeah.
be ready for a bunch of different stuff. That's one thing I've learned in the quote unquote real world. But you can, like you said, you can plan, but you got to be flexible and adapt. So
Mhm. Oh yeah, there's a saying on the job site that if we make it to plan F, everybody packs up and goes home for the day. That's we're done. We're exhausted of
well,
options. But in like competition, you can't plan on the human competitive spirit. Back in February, I thought the Mavericks made quite a little deal picking up
yeah,
Kyrie, and I put a couple bones down on the Mavericks to win. Would have been a pretty nice return.
for sure.
We know how that went. The other team, I only made two bets to win championships. The other team was the Bucks, and we are watching how when I root for a team, how it goes.
Watching it live in the flesh.
I'm in the flesh, and that's competition. But because there's so many unknowns, and that kind of leads me into what kind of the overall space vibe is. So if you have a minute to listen, Jimmy, I got something to say.
Hit me. What you got?
All right, competition, sport. The drive not only to do great things, but to beat somebody who thinks they are equally great. I've been a sports fan all my life, as long as I can remember. And I say literally, and that's the proper use of literally, because I literally cannot remember a time that I wasn't a sports fan of some sort. And that goes back to the Twins. The Twins and Vikings. Minnesota Twins and Vikings were my first favorite teams, and the Twins won a baseball championship in 1987. And then they won another one in 91. And I'm thinking, man, sports is awesome. Sports is great. Sports is amazing. But I also root for the Minnesota Vikings. And I could do an entire space, probably multiple spaces, on the almosts of being a Viking fan.
I'm sure you could.
Oh, and see, and I was the kid with the big purple coat in grade school, straight out the JCPenney catalog. Everybody knows. Everybody that's ever known me known my allegiance to the Vikings. It was above because I think football, the violence and being a young American boy, football was the number one sport to root for. Basketball was number one to play, but football was the number one to root for. And so I was all in. That if I was going to buy gear, it was going to be Viking gear, and 98, 15-1, Randall Cunningham, Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Robert Smith. Yeah. Super Bowl bound, missed field goal, didn't even make the Super Bowl. Going all in every year. Dante Culpepper, Donovan McNabb, drafting Troy Williamson, number 7, Christian Ponder, the Love Boat scandal, Tavares Jackson, signing Brett Favre, signing the devil himself, Brett Favre, and have that cheesehead don your sacred purple shirt.
I remember that.
And the Saints, the Saints and the Eagles and the Giants and all of them that I hate. And the Metrodome caving in. It was just the epitome of it all. And then they play outside against the Seahawks and they lose that. Okay, that's it. That's it for the Viking talk. But I'm talking about we cheer just as hard for competition as we push ourselves. And sometimes, if not harder.
For sure.
And speaking of cheer competition, I said cheer and competition there. Shout out to Kyla and the Bees, state 5A champs 2017. They beat the Rams. It was unbelievable. It's a whole Disney movie. Another space I could talk about my all in to cheer dadhood. Talk about a whole nother lifestyle. And there's certain people that have cheerleader daughters or cheerleader sons that know it's a lifestyle.
For sure. I've seen it.
Yeah. They've made movies on it. They're probably true to life, like that High School Musical. I hear that's pretty much based on real life.
Yeah,
I
know it. I hear you, and it's cool. You were a cheer dad.
Yeah, and it was a blast. And I can hopefully, if the tryouts go well, that will continue. We're going to find out this week. But tonight I kind of want to talk about competitions, and not just sport. And a spelling bee. It could be Black Friday shopping. It could be anything, any competition that you set yourself up for, that you were going against people that you knew that they thought they were better than you and you won, or your team won. And that could be making all-stars as a 13-year-old, not playing, but making all-stars. Or like Amit said, when he was 10, he played for a team and they were in D7 in their league. And after 4 months, by the end of the season, they won the championship game by 30 points. I guess they were underranked. They probably should have been in D1 or D2, but I don't know the sport. But that's what Amit said. Or the real Mike G. He won a Pop Warner national championship as a 13-year-old. Or this one. Talk about an amazing story. Half Blind is his name on Twitter. I'm legally blind and played 4 sports in my tiny high school. Football, basketball, golf, and track. Legally blind, mind you. There were no tryouts. He made it varsity his senior year and scored 4 points. 2 from the post fade and 2 on senior night against the best shot blocker in the league. And I responded, man, 2 on senior night doesn't get any better than that. And he said he was the league leader in block shots. So he knew he wanted to swat it to the front row. That's the 2K spirit right there. Let me get Jimmy, lost his connection. But it said, he wanted to launch into the front row. 1 pump fake and the dude flew by. He played most of the first quarter, still had a lead when he took me out, but he scored the 2 points on senior night. Talk about that. Or the gaming dad 25. Made it to the state tournament in tennis. Lost in the second round, though. Man, the questions that I could follow up on this stuff. Or Dribblehead Red. We got a steal. He got the ball in transition. He thought he was LeBron James and face planted. So sometimes things don't go well, you know. Or Captain Tyler. After 3 years of getting blown out of every game is in caps. So you know it's every game. His team was teens and young adults, 17-plus male rec league, down by 1 with 2 seconds on the clock. Inbound to lockdown in the corner. Puts up the 3, buzzer, swish. They flood the court. Even the opposing crowd was cheering.
W.
You know, sport, competition. And then the other cheer dad, girl dad, coach I-5. Because I was talking about making the All-Stars as a shortstop. I guess he was a pretty good second baseman too. So could have been a pretty good double play tandem.
There you go.
But that was the response I was hoping to get from that tweet. Probably I'd like to hear 1,000 more stories like that, and I'd like everybody to be able to tell their story no matter where it is. But cool stuff like that nobody asks us in the real world. Hey, were you a good ball player?
Yeah, no kidding.
Back in middle
Yep.
school, you know, and we're here tonight. I'm asking that, you know, were you a good ball player? Were you a good golfer? Were you a good cook? You know, what drove you? What was your competition? What, you know, now we play 2K to beat each other or the computer, you know, or whatever game it is. So the competition's still there. So we all have a story there, you know, because we, and then to tie it up, to tie up my portion, I guess the appetizers. When we switch roles, you know, because we can drive ourselves and we do our best out on the court, but when we switch roles and we cheer, we be a fan, and the fan is short for fanatic.
Yep.
But we just have to remember we cannot lose sight of what's important. You know, when our team wins, do we riot? Do we start the streets on fire? No, some of us, yes, but we shouldn't. And maybe when our kid loses, do we punish them? No, we shouldn't.
Right.
Or if our team loses, does it ruin our day? Sure. Does it ruin our week? Sure. Does it ruin our month? Also, sure. but in 20 or so years, it's not going to ruin your life.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing like we root for something else, like whether it be a game or a company or a creator. We have to remember we are fans and we cannot be fanatics. You know, we have to be anti-Eminem here. We don't lose yourself. You know, always represent yourself. You know, because there's cameras everywhere. If your team won and you're out in the streets turning over cars, they got you. It's in the same thing. If you're on Twitter starting dumpster fires where they don't need to be started, they got you, and it lives with you forever. So
yeah,
root for your team, root for your people, root for your favorite content creators, but don't lose yourself.
I'm glad you said that because on stream, I think it was yesterday, I was just saying, you know, I'm a fan as much as I am a creator, if not more. Like, I love popping in people's streams and watching YouTube videos and showing love. I see Federal in here. We got so many streamers in here that come through the space that are just on stream every day that I just like to pop in or tab or whatever. Rated Floki today, obviously, you know, I want to show him support as possible. I mean, I could keep going on the list, but, you know, I love being a fan. And there is a line between being a fan and being a fanatic. I'm a fan of a lot of things. I'm an NBA fan. I'm a college basketball fan. Obviously, I'm a fan of Butler. I'm a fan of my alma mater that I gave everything I had. It poured into for 4 years, and it gave me a lot back. You know, I'm a fan of so many different things. I'm a fan of Jimmy Butler. I was laying down watching the game last night, and I got excited, just like how I used to get excited back in the day watching him play. And I mean, I'm a fan of so many different things, like I said, and I'm glad you brought that up. And I've competed, I've won, I've lost a lot, I've won a lot. It's just been a fun ride for sure, no doubt about it.
Sorry, I was busy writing down rated Floki again that whole time. I didn't hear anything that you said. And devil emojis. I'm writing on paper
Uh,
too. Yeah. Handwritten emojis. So yeah, all that's awesome stuff. I'm sure it was great. No, and that's the thing. We have to have something to cheer for. We have to have something to root for. Whether it be sport or maybe we're rooting to try to make the next green light. We're not speeding, but you know, we're rooting for our favorite soda to be on sale.
yeah,
We don't have to score 56 points in the playoffs to have a win.
absolutely.
We can get 2-for-1 bagels down at the local
Yeah,
deli.
no kidding. No kidding.
And that's a
The,
win.
the, the guy at the cash register, he tells me, you know what? Just you don't worry about paying the change. Just give me the dollar bill. Perfect. W for the day. I see the Celtics right now. I'm a fan of Jason Tatum. I'm a fan of Jaylen Brown. I'm a fan of Malcolm Brogdon. Those last two guys have done a lot to try to make the world a better place. If you guys don't know, Malcolm Brogdon has built wells in Africa, and Charles Barkley donated to them a couple years back for clean drinking water and all that different stuff. So there's a lot of everybody in the NBA has a story, and there's a lot of easy players to root for. Obviously, I know you're an NFL guy. Same thing. I've gotten to speak with some NFL players, interview them over the years, which has been fun as well. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan as much as I am a content creator, and I know that there are people out there who tell me they're fans of me, which is crazy to think about. But I'm always going to be a fan myself.
Then you have to be a fan of
I am,
yourself first.
and I am. I'm 100. I am my own biggest fan. I really am. I'm
Yeah.
my biggest critic. I'm harder on myself than anybody else, but I like what you tweeted. You said you have to shout yourself out and be your biggest fan because I am. I have to be. I have no choice and want to be too.
Because you did say one thing that, because I'm always listening for things that say, huh? And the one thing you said, just to correct you, you said NBA players all have a story.
Yeah.
And everybody in this space, everybody listen to this space, has
For
a
sure.
story, has a IRL win. And whether it was yesterday or 20 years ago or something that you can chuckle on the way to work thinking
Yeah.
about, things and that's because, man, especially when you're as old as I am, man, I've seen some things.
Yeah.
It's hard to get yourself to bring up a memory. But if for some reason you're prodded, if you're poked and prodded, they've learned that you can get secrets out of people with torture. And so I'm trying to torture people with this space and get info.
That's funny.
And you're the first one in the interrogation chair.
I'm ready. I'm ready. What you got for me?
All right. Well, first of all, I think we've established how you're doing. It sounds like you're doing solid.
I am. I'm doing what I can, and I'm doing my best, and I'm doing my job, and I'm having fun with it.
All right. Well, give me the best thing that's happened to you this past week, IRL, since last Tuesday. We chatted last Tuesday. I don't know if you remember. We do it quite frequently. Both of us are elderly, so it's a good reminder. But last week, IRL.
I enjoyed nice weather, man. I really did. I really did. I enjoyed going outside. I enjoy getting exercise, walking after streams, walking to the lake, or even just walking the mailbox. It's really important for me more than ever to be active because last year around this time, my job required me to be extremely active, like beyond as active as I've ever been. So I try to maintain a level of activity. Even right now, as we're walking around, I'm walking around my apartment, just making my usual route that I've done for 25 spaces in a row now. Whether it's here or at my house back home, just pacing around and just trying to walk. So, and then as far as that, I mean, just streams are always fun, Tim. I'm gonna get Hakeem again, and I know you're gonna ask me about that, but I don't know. I love streaming. I love firing up. I love seeing who comes into the Waffle House early, who stops in the middle, and who arrives late. And not late, but at the end. And then we pass along the raid to somebody. We've raided somebody every day this year. So I love doing that. I love being a part of that and opening the Waffle House for you guys. And I thank you for opening the Waffle House in the evenings.
Hey, it's a team effort. And but you did mention something that, yeah, a change in weather can really change your life. It can change your mood. Vitamin D is a real thing
Yep.
that you can get from the sun. We are mammals. And we need that. We need to get out. We need fresh air. We need to go do things outside. We need to go walk around a golf course and curse so that we can't find our balls.
The fact that it's saying lighter outside is definitely a fat W, and it's light outside right now, even being 8:30, and that's only going to continue here into the summer. So I can't wait for the summer. I'm really looking forward to seeing what that has in store. I look forward to the warmer weather. I have a lot of water, which has been a huge W. I have crates of water. When I've just been on streams, just hydrating myself, and I've had nothing but water ever since the new year began. So that's a huge W. You want to hear a W? You can't spell water without a W.
Agua.
Oh yeah, I'm all about it. I
Um,
feel better. I just
yeah.
do. I feel a lot better that I'm just drinking it and drinking it and drinking it so much each day. It's crazy.
No, it's good to drink. I'm working on my drinking as well. So
Yeah,
Hakeem Olajuwon, you mentioned. You got him, you say? Does he play on your squad?
yeah, for sure. I want to know an unlimited, um, undefeated, and he came in as a backup power forward and did some big things in the fourth quarter in that unlimited game. But yeah, he makes my best squad for sure. I actually really like him at power forward. I know there's other options. I don't have Yao or Taco. I have my boy Peter. Shout out to Ice Viking, but
Mm-hmm.
Hakeem is.
Yeah, he's solid. But on the way to Hakeem, you gotta spend some MT. So shout out to Rye Guy MVP with this question. What is your go-to MT method right now? You need to make some.
Ornament balls are more expensive, Tim. No, but they are. But for me, I'm playing these spotlight challenges, and I'm evolving the cards in the spotlight challenges, and I'm done with all of them on Xbox up until this point. So
Okay, and then you Evo them. So that's nice.
yeah,
That's
I'm
nice.
evolving them.
Um,
I've made a lot of profit off of them, and I'm up to about 200K on Xbox and PlayStation. MT is not the of great. I don't have it in abundance, but I have enough. Like I'm gonna buy Kukoc and do his XP, and I'll have Hakeem this week.
that's good. You have to struggle a little bit on one of the accounts. Yep. Come down and grind with us. We like that.
Oh yeah,
So Hakeem makes your squad, you
yeah,
say.
off the bench.
Do, do you play on your squad,
Yeah,
Jimmy?
yeah, for sure. I
Prove it. Prove it. What's your best IRL competition story? Why do you make your squad?
for basketball or anything.
I don't care. Where's your drive? Why are you on the squad, whatever
I
squad it
mean,
is?
you mentioned all stars. I was an all star numerous times. Little flex.
All right. Probably a smaller school than I was at.
No, I mean that was just growing up and making the team in the summer and having a lot of fun with it.
Okay, give me one instance. Give me one time that you were told that you made the All-Star team. How did that look? That's going to be your IRL story. We're going to name
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Maybe your first time or the one time you remember. How'd you find out? I remember exactly how I found out. How did you
we
find out?
had we had tryouts, which was a little interesting because they knew us already, but I guess they wanted to see us perform at our best. And I remember I just made the team, and I just had fun playing baseball in the summer. I
How did you find out you made the team,
oh
Jimmy? Like, did somebody text you, or did they post it on the
there
wall,
was
or did your parents
there
say,
was a
Jim?
there was a website, and I think they got in touch with my dad.
Okay.
So they
Oh,
had the all star teams on the website for
okay. That's high
yeah, oh
tech.
yeah, no, for sure. But no, I remember that, and just they and then they told me, and I was just willing to play. I loved playing baseball when I was a kid, so I loved it. I fell in love with the game, and I bat left-handed. Now you know that about me, and
Forced left-handed, right? Forced right-handed picture for the left-handed batter.
yep. But Yeah, that's just one example of competition where I was trying to play my best. It meant a lot to be an all-star for sure, and I understood the weight and the gravity of it as we traveled around. I mean, gosh, going into my freshman year of high school, we packed up a van and drove all the way to Omaha and played in the tournament there. And that was some of the best experiences of my life. So that year, they brought in the new. It was new college World Series stadium, like where Creighton plays now, and all the TD Ameritrade, all the different stuff. So it was a really cool experience to be part of the opening ceremonies and to play baseball. And we were in Nebraska. Like I'll use my friend Bob to save his name. As you guys know, we were catching up. We were playing a team from Minnesota the first game actually, and we just were playing catch. My friend Bob was like, "Dude, we're in effing Nebraska right now." I was like, "That is crazy, man!" Like we drove all the way through Illinois, we drove all the way through Iowa, and now we're sitting here in Omaha, Nebraska, which is a baseball hotbed, playing teams from around the country, and just ready to lock in and just have some fun, man. I mean, we were going into high school like it was just a great time, bro. I'll never forget it.
That's so cool that he said, "Dude, we're in Nebraska." He probably dropped the F
He
bomb
did.
there, you know. And, oh, this, yeah, and yeah. At least you guys took a minute to take it all in, even though probably being a young punk kid like me, it was just a minute to take it all in. Then you're back in it. You know, what's the next game coming out? Who's up next?
A couple games later, we played a team from Wisconsin, and I I made this catch in left field against the wind. That was I still don't to this day I don't know how I made it, and I hit a double off of this kid, and I remember this so vividly now that it's all coming back to me. And it was fun, man. That tournament in Omaha, the slump buster they called it. It was one of the craziest experiences I've ever had in my life, and it was something that we will always remember. Like I've lost touch with some of those guys on the team, but I've stayed in touch with some of them, and we'll never forget it. That was a great experience.
Oh, that's awesome. So who helped make you so good at
Oh,
baseball?
I owe everything to my dad. Even
Yeah, that's
before
it.
then,
Seems like
even
baseball.
before then, though, Tim, I want to tell you real quick. They in the town in the state tournament, they split it up into an A team and the B team, and I was in the B team, and we beat the A team in the state tournament, and I scored the game-winning run, and that was that. I mean, they'll talk about that in Cherville, Indiana, every July 12th for the rest of the time, man. It was crazy, man. And like they've never been done before that the B team beats the A team 2-1. It was just insane.
See that? Yeah, that's the essence of sport right there. So how did a big baseball player like you? How'd you find 2K My Team?
I played my team back in its inception in 2K13. Now, mind you, I've played 2K since 2K5, and that's when I was a young pup. So I was playing on Xbox, Ben Wallace on the cover. I was 8 years old. Um, but I remember using Robert Covington. I remember using Marshawn Brooks, Tony Roten, those guys. And my team was much different back then. It was very bare bones, a lot of VC. That was the year VC was included in the game, if I remember correctly. And I don't know. I remember playing that, and then the biggest thing I didn't really play for a while, but in 2K15, and that was my senior year of high school, and to a lesser extent 2K16, I was watching so much YouTube content, man, so much my team content, so much stuff that you guys are playing, 2K stuff, all this different stuff. And if I didn't say this when I was on the stream the other day, I wanted to mention it. I told Stacks this when I met him over the summer. I watched him back in 2K15, and now to see him have over 1 million subs and continue to do his work is really neat to see. So I wanted to give him a shout out because, I watched that dude back when I was a senior in high school, and now to see it happen for him is really cool. So, and
Oh yeah, you were on that 2K stream,
yeah,
weren't
I
you?
was. I wanted to make sure I shouted out Stack, so I wanted to say it during the stream. We got sidetracked because we were getting popped in co-op, but it was fun.
I saw that. Yeah, I even put in the stream chat. I asked if you guys have played this mode before.
But no, so I don't really play 2K all that much in college. Played it casually, just with friends, roommates, whatever. But then in 2K20, I was in North Dakota, and this was before the pandemic started. It was the end of 2019. So I said, you know what? I've enjoyed playing 2K forever. Let's get back into it. Let's play my career. Let's see what my team is talking about now. That's much different back then when I played in 2K13. And I went to GameStop, and the rest is history, I guess.
So you got pretty deep into it. And I know with my team, it's competition. And shout out to Alex Lothar for this question.
Great.
Have you ever broken anything as a direct result from playing 2K?
When I was young, I remember I kind of threw my controller a little bit against the couch, which was a smart move, and part of my controller popped out, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Like, my controller still worked, though.
Did you wait a second? Did you just say kind of threw your controller a little bit into the couch? Like kind of and a little bit? That's your rage, Jimmy?
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy. Part of the controller popped off, but it still works. So that was my special controller. And when friends came over, I used that controller because I knew I had the advantage with it. So no, I mean, I'm partially broken, but not fully so. But no. I mean, hey, I know we all get frustrated. For me, I've learned to just temper it and just be chill. And that was when I was really young, so it's all good. We had a thing in my house for a Christmas party. Man, we had 3 tournaments going on at the same time. We had 2K going on, we had Madden going on, and we had ping pong going on. I don't know how we did it, but it was fun, man. It was all because of baseball.
See that? Yeah, that's 3 things that you wouldn't think would be going on because of baseball.
Exactly, but it was from competition, it was from bonding, it was from that experience that you talked about, and we all at my house, and my mom has pictures of all of us playing 2K that day, and I won some games, and I remember I hit a buzzer beater. This was 2K9, I think, with Leandro Barbosa at the buzzer. I was using the Suns. Steve Nash, Stoudemire pick and roll, dude. I could talk your ear off, man. I could just waffle so much, and I used to really just buy the game playing with the Bulls. That was the most fun, man. Those are the days.
You mentioned you're a Bulls fan. I do have to ask you, how come you didn't have a Bulls jersey when you went to Community Day?
Well, when in LA, right?
Not always. Sometimes I can get you in trouble, especially in LA.
Yeah, I don't.
Especially with your, I guess your determination down there.
For me, oh yeah, I hear you. For me, I mean, we were all safe and secluded and all that different stuff. I've got plenty of Bulls jerseys. I wore that one Bulls jersey when I was with Uncle Demi, my D Rose jersey. That's gray. That's kind of a little unique and different. But no, man, I got Brian Scalabrine Bulls jerseys. Why? Because I love watching him play it. I hooped with him in 2K11. 2K11, I was a plain out demon online. That's people forget that. Well, nobody knew me back then. But I remember one game I dropped like over 20 points with Scalabrine. I play now. I was playing a dude who was using the Clippers. Back then, if you were using the Heat, that was like cheating. But I was using my Bulls, man, on the broadcast camera. Derrick Rose, pick and roll, Joakim Noah, Carlos Boozer, Bench Mob, Kyle Korver, Ronnie Brewer, all this different stuff. Tim, I could bore you to tears with the stories I've got.
No, I love it. But probably everybody else.
Yeah, I know. I got one.
I know. I take that back. You are proof that you could do that tomorrow, and everybody will tune in and listen. So I'm not sure where you get the boring you to tears because I'd say you talk about 2K11 the entire Waffle House tomorrow and just see how it goes.
I'll do it.
3 hours worth of notes. Just challenge yourself, and people will wonder. They'll be wondering, does he know he's playing 2K23?
I'll do it. I'll definitely reserve segments for 11 tomorrow. But we were in a situation in 2K11. This was my 8th grade year, and we were sitting at lunch one day, and you want to talk about competition. My basketball coach, and we were in 8th grade, called us all together and said, look, we're going to have a student staff basketball game, and LaFakis is going to be your coach, and we're gonna have this whole thing. And I was like, whoa, this is kind of wild. Nobody asked me to do this, all this different stuff. So I get with my dad. We start planning a bunch of different stuff. We got T-shirts. We filled out lineups. We did everything. There was a play called 42 roll that the Bulls ran for Kyle Korver in 2K, and he came off the screen and got a 3-pointer at the wing, and he made it. And my buddy Bob, again, I'm protecting names here. I drew up that play at lunch. I told him how to do it. I had it like locked in from Kyle Korver back from 2K11, and he hit the 3 off the play, and the staff beat the students, and it was a crazy experience. But at the end of the day, it was such a fun moment because I was going crazy on the bench when he hit the 3 off the play, even though the play was broken, and it was really cool, man. It was a really cool moment. So it goes way back, man. It goes way back for me, like way back.
Yeah, see, and that's the evolution of going from the player to the coach.
Yeah.
To to the legend, I guess now it is legend status. Isn't that what we all try to achieve in park and such?
For me, I'm just Jimmy playing the game, man. I'm just.
But is it? But what is legend? When people speak of somebody's legend, isn't just people talk about you?
Yeah.
Isn't that what it is? If somebody's talking about you, you've reached legendary status, my dude.
They tell stories about it, right? They tell stories about you, and they regale the tales about you, and
yeah. And if nobody's there to tell your story, you tell it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. The stories get passed on from generation to generation, and you just hope what you do in your life makes an impact, man. That's all you hope for. So.
Oh yeah. You see, my story right now about making All-Stars and not playing is that right now. But give me 20 more years, and I hit 3 bombs to win the state tournament, and they carried me off the field. That's what the story's going to evolve to. Because they say the winners rewrite the history books.
I love it.
Is that what they say? That's why history is so skewed towards whoever won the wars throughout all of time. So I think you should write your history book for sure, Jimmy, because you're a winner, man.
Appreciate you, Tim. I will for sure.
Yeah.
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. I've always got ideas churning in the back of my head. I'm an ideas guy. I'm a solutions guy. I like to solve problems, and not necessarily physically, but just mentally. I'm pretty white collar rather than blue collar.
See, I like that. We need people that like to think about things is a skill, because a lot of people just do and don't think.
Well, I pride myself on being solutions oriented. I think I heard like Woody Page and those guys around the horn say that when I was young. I was like, hey, you know what? I like this. Back when I was playing 2K11. I mean, it all comes back to 2K11 for me, man. That was the game, bro. That was the game. MJ on the cover, Jordan challenge, all the different stuff, man. That was just an iconic 2K. People will talk about 2K10. People will talk about 2K15. That was another big one for me. People who really like 16. But for me, and I think for a lot of other people, I think it was 11. I really do.
Do you think putting solutions oriented is a good move on a resume?
In an interview,
or is it so vague? Or is it like just a line filler? Solutions, goal oriented.
In an interview, it's good because they're going to say, "Tell me about a time when you had to solve a problem." And I've got I could rattle off 27 of those, right off the top of my head, where I fixed stuff. And dude, I
got one thing that you haven't fixed.
My game.
Your game.
Yeah.
That's right. Where are we on that? I know we update each space on a scale from 1 to fix your game. Do we know where we're at yet?
I still need to have a lot of fixing to do. I can
tuned.
waffle all this.
Are we still at stay tuned?
I can waffle all this stuff about being solutions oriented, but if there's no action done, then it's just waffling at the end of the day, which I think is good. I love the waffle, but no, man. I mean, listen.
Empires were created on waffles, all right? Empires were created on the waffle.
There you go. So, Evo's every day. Spotlight Challenge is being added every day. One thing I wanted to point out that I just realized today, actually, I did all the Sixers and Nets games, and when the completion reward for that set was a deluxe pack. So I got 2 deluxe packs for finishing game 4 of the playoffs cards. The challenges. I've done all of the challenges. If you guys have any questions about any challenge, you guys let me know, and I'll be happy to break it down for you. I've done them all up until this point. Obviously, we know the new ones are coming tomorrow. They've been updated ever since Friday. Obviously, we get the content on weekends coming in with the Evos, and I've been evolving cards, just having them, selling some, keeping some, seeing who gets them, all that different stuff. And it gives you another reason to watch the NBA and watch the playoffs. It's been the best first round I can remember.
No, it's been good. It's been good. And yeah, it's solutions oriented. It could also mean you're always wishing other people would solve problems because you're oriented on solutions. So that's, I think, where I'm at.
I'm trying to help, solve issues that people have, man. I do stuff a lot of times that isn't seen, but I love doing work behind the scenes and answering people's questions when they have questions. Why did I not get a playoffs player? Oh, it's because it's a standard pack. Like, I challenge myself, how quickly can I respond to this person? Like, I like to be a customer service agent. It challenges me. I'm 57, so it keeps me in line.
And we appreciate that. You staying in line, I think, is better for everybody. in my opinion.
I try, Tim. I try. Just growing up, just get questions from principals in high school who knew me and stuff like that. We had a bunch of principals. I went to a big high school, contrary to what you might think. I know you went.
I was just trying to make myself feel better earlier about the school size.
They always just the question, the classic question: "You staying out of trouble, Jimmy?" Yeah. I'm trying to.
Yep, working hard or hardly working.
Yep.
Yeah, I know you're working hard.
And I'm trying to stay out of trouble. And what always cracked me up in North Dakota, especially in the winter, they would always tell me to stay warm. I'm trying to, man. I'm trying to.
Trying to stay warm. Like Jimmy Buckets is just out there hooping. Well, you solved one of my problems. I was looking for a solution to who I was going to waffle with for an hour tonight. And
yeah. Well,
and you nailed it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Tim. And you got Ramsey coming in, so this is his show, man.
You think Ramsey's going to be coming in hot at all? I hear he's a Heat enthusiast, a Miami Heat enthusiast.
Yeah, he's going to talk, and he has every right to, especially if they win tomorrow.
Oh, they got to back it up now, and especially with I helped him out. Apparently, I didn't even realize I was helping Ramsey out by betting on the Bucks.
That's funny. Jimbo time, baby. It's Jimbo time, and it's Ramsey time.
Hey, Ramsey, you there?
Here's Unc.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Ramsey.
Hi, Tim.
You watching any playoffs?
I am currently, yes.
There's another Jimmy in the chat here that watches the playoffs.
Is there? I didn't notice.
Oh.
Bro has such a soothing voice. I'm out. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jimmy. So Ramsey, what's happening out there? I've been working a lot. I've been working on this internet thing I don't have solved, so I don't know what's going on. What's happening out there in the real world?
So Aaron Rodgers is supposedly going to give the Jets hope as he's their new quarterback. The NFL draft is
another Packer retread. Another Packer retread.
Yeah, the NFL draft is Thursday, so we'll see who my Carolina Panthers draft number 1. Looking forward to that. There's MLB around. The Rays still are the best at home and stuff like that. Hockey's heating up with a couple teams up 3-1 and a lot of 2-2s in the series. And then we get over to this thing called the association, where last night, if you missed it, first we'll go out to La La Land because, Dylan Brooks, that guy that plays on the Memphis Grizzlies who doesn't respect you unless you get 40. Well, LeBron James turned back the clock last night with 20 rebounds and 20 points, and he's the first Laker to do that since the most dominant ever, Shaquille O'Neal in 2004. But also in that factor, the Lakers go up 3-1 over the Grizzlies, and Ja and Brooks are still fine in the West, as they said they were. They're still fine in the West, down 3-1. But then we travel, even though this game happened first, to South Beach, where it was highly anticipated because the two-time MVP, Finals MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo was coming back for the Bucks, and he made his return and he dominated early.
They had to even up the series, right? The Bucks,
yeah,
Ramsey, the Bucks season is on the line, right? The Bucks entire
it
season.
definitely
So
was.
they probably played pretty
They
well,
played
right?
They played well. Brook Lopez was the leading scorer with 36. Giannis had a triple double. But then there's a
Oh,
guy.
nice.
There's a guy on the opposing side named Jimmy effing Buckets, and Jimmy Butler put on a masterclass performance from the start, having 22 in the first quarter, and then just finding it in himself to say, they're not taking one on our court. Jimmy freaking Butler had 56 off the muscle in the house that Wade built, in the house that he currently resides in, because the Bucks just knew they were going to win with 4 minutes left, up 12. Jimmy Butler only had 39 at the time, and he ended up with 56. Jimmy Butler went into a whole different mode. We have playoff Jimmy, but I don't know what I witnessed last night. But what I witnessed last night was a guy who's been counted out his whole life. If you don't know Jimmy Butler's story, you should really look it up. He's a gritty guy. He went to Marquette along with Dwayne Wade, and not at the same time, of course. They just went to the same school. So both gritty guys. And Jimmy Butler he found it in himself to will his teammates, give them the confidence, and they ended up stealing that game back and winning the game and have a commanding 3-1 lead going into tomorrow night's Game 5 in Milwaukee. So it was just, the only thing I'll say about that performance last night, related to real life, if you ever feel, people are going to count you out regardless. So if you ever feel that you can't do something, then just realize, F what everybody else say. I'm going to bet on me. I'm going to bet on me. I'm going to put all my chips in the table, and I'm going to say, I'm betting on me. If nobody else betting on me, I'm betting on me. Because obviously, we heard it from the start. Oh, the Bucks they're the most talented team. They are. But talent and grittiness are two different things. You can have talent, but can you be gritty? How gritty can you get? And Jimmy Butler had no right to give up on himself, and he didn't give up on himself. The Butler did it in the 305 and lit it up from the start to finish. So just remember that.
It was unreal. It was unreal, that type of lock-in.
That performance it got him fourth all time on playoff postseason performances behind the great Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Donovan Mitchell, and Jimmy Butler. So, yeah.
And driving in, taking it to the hoop against Giannis and Brook.
Some key factors for tonight's game, as the Celtics look like they're going to close the Hawks out because DeJounte Murray was suspended for contacting an official, which you can never do or should never do. No Kawhi going into the game tonight versus the Suns, so they'll probably close it out. Timberwolves fans, shout out to my boy Federal. I have hope, but it's much harder with no Kyle Anderson, and you're on the road tonight, so we'll see what they can do if they can extend their series one more day. So that's just some news that's happened in the association. Oh, and then last thing, Ime Udoka, the former coach of the Boston Celtics, gets a shot at a second chance. He is now the new Rockets head coach, so we'll see how that plays out for him this time around.
Does his 2K card go up in value?
It could. It could.
I doubt
we'll see.
Does he get an Evo? Will they Evo a coach?
We'll see. If they would Evo a coach, I don't think it would be him, but that's for other reasons. Um, so yeah. But yeah, like to wrap it
No.
all up with the association, just don't count yourself out. Don't count yourself
Yep.
out until you know there's just nothing you can do. If you can't,
If there's no
if you
reason,
try,
there's no
if you
reason the person across from that desk isn't just as good as you, or you're not better than them. You know that
exactly, if you exhausted every ounce of what you had and you gave it, then you can say, okay, I can live with the result. But I guarantee you, just like Jimmy Butler was going through his mind, ain't no way we losing this game and I got 47. Ain't no way I'm losing this game and I done had 30 at the half. Ain't no way. There's just no way. It's not happening. You gotta get gritty, just like Kobe would. Pull up your shorts, get yourself a stop, and go the other way. And that's what Jimmy Butler did. That's what the rest of the team
yeah.
did. They rallied behind their leader. Because I was
Yep.
told by somebody in this space, I won't name any names, King Chai, that Jimmy Butler wasn't the leader of that team. So when the leader decides to show you, I'm Jimmy effing Butler, and this is my house. This is my house. Not Giannis's, not Drew's, not Middleton's. This is my house. Okay? So just keep that out there. Because we go by the way of Jimmy Butler. And the Butler did it last night.
Ooh. Hold on 1 second, Ramsey. Since I'm having to let King Chow react to that real quick. Since he is a first-time speaker, I believe. I think I might have only talked to him once. Real quick reaction to Ramsey's slander of your prediction of who's the team leader.
You know, Ramsey, he's my brother, so I'm gonna let him slide with that. You know, little bro, I'm gonna let him slide with that one. But
Little bro, Jimmy Butler is him. We go by the way of Jimmy Butler.
I'm just not sold on your guy. Look, he's great, but I'm just not sold on him. That's it. I'm not sold on Jimmy. I still feel like there needs to be another superstar down there so they can excel much better. But I mean, hey, he's doing his thing. 56 is
All right,
very,
stay tuned. I guess we figure out once and for all. What is that tomorrow?
yes.
What?
Is that tomorrow,
Oh,
Ramsey?
and I got the
It's
headline
tomorrow.
for you. It's the struggle of who had the greater struggle between Jimmy and Giannis, because you know Jimmy had his struggles, Giannis with his foreign and having to come up from rags to riches. So this is really a story between the two of whose struggle was greater. And I think Giannis might come back tomorrow and push this to 7.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
And
Well, thank you for popping
like
in. If you do want to speak, stick around. No, we're going to solve it on the court. We've set our piece on that. It's now it comes down to who wins. Ramsey, you like that, right? Solving it on the court now.
yeah, let's solve it on the court. But nobody counted Miami in this series in the first place. So if y'all are going to keep talking about what we can't do, then I guess Jimmy's going to have to show you again. Isn't that right? But the Butler did it. The Butler did it like he did last night, like he did in Game 3, like he did in Game 1. The Butler did it. So
I don't even need to ask you how you're doing, right? We can feel it. We can feel after that win. We knew how you're going to be doing. So give me thump. That was Jimmy. That was Jimmy and the Heat's big win. Give me something. Give me a win for you this past week.
this past week,
Yep. Something good. And you've had the questions. I know you were prepping the other stuff, but you've had the questions. So
I enjoyed.
and I know you keep underestimating yourself. So give me a win.
I went out and enjoyed the fight this past weekend. That was a win.
Okay.
That was a win.
Okay. Getting out and socializing. I like that.
Yeah.
Was it another win getting Olajuwon by any chance?
Oh yeah, that was a win. Yeah, Hakeem the Dream really moves, man. He really moves.
Does he play on your squad?
Yeah, he does. He does.
All right. But to get him, you need to establish some MT. Shout out to Rye Guy. What's your MT method?
Shoes. Selling shoes. I learned it from this weirdo that I talk to about every day. Like his name is T Smalls. I don't know.
Yes, sir. Shoes is the way.
Yeah, selling shoes, flipping shoes. It's worked for me. I make about 17 to 25K every time. So
So does Hakeem play on your squad?
Yeah, he starts next to Big China. I'm running the Rocket duo.
Okay, I like that. Do you, Ramsey, play on your squad?
No, I'm the coach. I gotta coach him up.
You're the coach. All right. So even in coaching, you have to get some wins.
Yeah.
So give me one of your IRL wins. Sports or competition driven win.
One. Okay. I'll go. Okay, so I played baseball from like age 11 to 15, right before high school. Playing travel ball, like AAU and stuff. Um, when I was about, yeah, I would say 13. 13, we played this team who was, most of the guys were older than us, and then their starting pitcher used to play for us, and then their coach, he was their coach. The pitcher's dad was the team's coach, so he used to be on our old team. And
Oh,
we faced them in the whatever, like it was equivalent to like the little World Series, not the one that happens in Newport, but it was the little World Series for that league. And I never forget, the umpires were making some questionable calls all night, and the parents started getting animated, and it was back and forth from each dugout and stuff like that. And we go into the eighth inning, tied at 2, and it starts pouring. It starts pouring. I'll never forget. It started pouring, and I was thinking, there's no way we're going to stop this game. We're going to play this game in the rain. So we waited 30 minutes, and it just wouldn't stop. But the lightning cleared, so they said, play ball. And if anybody has ever played baseball, you know when it gets rainy on that dirt, man, you're in mud. You're in quicksand. So it's 2-2, and we go into we're the home team, so we have the last at bat, and they get a hit, and they have a man on base, and he gets over, he steals second, and then we throw an error, he's at third, so they have a chance to take the lead, and I accidentally messed up on the play, but it turned out to be one of the greatest plays I've ever done in an athletic sport, because I was supposed to turn 2 because we already had 2 outs. I didn't throw it to home like I was supposed to. I ran him down. I run him down from where I picked up the ball and tagged him out at home to save the run. And then we got out of the inning.
in the mud.
In the mud. I mean,
In the
I
mud.
literally, when I tell you, I leap and think there's no way I'm getting him. And I leap, and I look up, and we both look up, and the umpire goes, out. And I'm like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I was like, oh, hell yes. We just won this game. Because I knew we would win the game because we had better hitting, but we were like, we're stuck. So then we closed out that inning, and then we ended up putting 2 on the board and winning against our former coach and team, because he was the only one that left us. So it was like, damn, y'all left us for real? Like, because all of us had grown up for the 3 years. We had grown up for 2-3 years together. So we just kept playing and playing and playing together. And we were like, all right, I'm going to get you back. So yeah, that was one of the best moments.
That's awesome. I love that. Civil War
that
style.
just starts the competitive drive for a lot of people, I think, when you start young and you're in it. But you gotta
who helped you make good? Who helped make you good at baseball?
Ironically, that coach. I mean, we used to go to the same school, me and his son. So we would always hang out, and he would like teach me how to correctly bunt, and I was always the one that everybody would expect me to be a big hitter, but I would just turn my shoulder at the right time and always take the hit, and I would be like, oh, and then I would get first base every time. Like I think one game I got 4 on bases based off of a hit in the shoulder. because I would time it every time perfectly, and then I got a reputation for doing that. So like they would start bringing me up if it's like a man on base to advance somebody. I would just turn my shoulder every time, and I would take the hit in the arm. It would be a stinger, but I'm like, I'm eating these. I'm eating these for the team. I'm eating these for the team. So that's what I was really good at. I let everybody else do all the heavy
That's
hitting.
awesome.
So yeah,
See, I told you, you're the glue guy.
I got a game ball off of that too.
I'd hope
Yeah,
so.
so
Jeez.
I still have
All
those.
right. So how did this big baseball heavy hitter? How'd you find 2K My Team?
So
Because that's how we all found
that's
each other. So how'd you find 2K My Team?
So 2K My Team, that has to go back to I guess I would say my neighbor, one of my best friends. We talk every day, and we live like less than 20 feet away from each other. Because when I moved to the neighborhood, I wasn't into 2K like I am now. But when you hang out at each other's houses and stuff, he's like, "Hey, you want to play 2K?" And I'm like, "All right." I played 2K before.
Yeah.
And then we would be like playing. So we would only play like regular teams, like play now, excuse me. So we would play that
Mm-hmm.
all the time, and I'm using Jordan, and I'm using LeBron, and I'm using Steph Curry, whoever. So then when I found out there was like a My Team mode, I was like, wait a minute, I can use this Steph Curry card, this LeBron card. So I would say he got me into it because he got me into 2K in general more. Like I started playing 2K, and then I was like, I'm nonstop now.
Yep.
Um,
Oh yeah, especially if you have somebody to grind with, that makes it
yeah,
awesome.
so
That
we
makes it
started doing
awesome.
that.
So getting into 2K. Shout out to Alex Lothar again for the question. Have you ever broken anything as a result of playing 2K?
I definitely have broken a couple things playing 2K. I've broken about 2 controllers. I've broken a headset.
Oh, there's a list.
Yeah, I remember the list because I remember having to tell my mother, and my mother was like, "Huh, who you think you're getting you a new one?" Like, oh no. So I definitely remember having to tell my mom, "Hey, I may need a new controller for Christmas. Why do you need a new controller if you just got 2? Well, see what had
Yeah.
happened was,
It's not me, it's the game. Yeah.
something it just
Well,
something just flew, and then she was like, "All right, well, guess what? Money ain't made on trees, Bucko. You ain't getting it."
well, I'm glad 2K hasn't made you break your phone,
No,
Ramsey.
no.
So I appreciate that.
That was the
And you
younger
survived the
years. That was the
questions.
younger years.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that's good. Level headed. We like that.
That
We
was the
like that.
younger years for sure.
You made it through all the questions. So if people need more, if people need to take, if people need somebody on their baseball team to take a pitch right in the shoulder, where can they find you?
They can find me on.
I got to contact Ramsey. I need someone to take one for the team.
They can find me on Twitter or in many of the various streams I'm in. Just
All right.
just look your boy up.
Thanks as always,
Yep.
Ramsey. The glue guy of the space as well. Next up, is it the first time I've got to talk to you, King Chill?
I think so.
I'm really old too, and so we could have talked yesterday, and who knows? Yeah, but I appreciate you coming in.
I appreciate that.
How are you today?
Just got off work, so I'm pretty good. How about you?
Oh, great! Yeah, great. I love Tuesdays. I dig hanging out with this community. So yeah, zero complaints for a Tuesday.
Appreciate that.
We're talking about wins and competition. So anything good happened this past week to you, IRL?
No, it's been pretty bleak. So I could not count the record of wins or losses. It's just been kind of even kill.
All right, and sometimes that's not too bad. Because like even Jimmy touched on earlier, even the weather changing can be a win. You start to see people out on the golf course and you hate them because you're working, but at least they're golfing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So are you getting anything done in 2K? You get
I got the dream. It wasn't easy, but I was living off a high of selling Jimmy for debt and just kept renting players out here and there to get the XP that was needed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the right guy question to figure out how you get your MT.
Yeah.
So rent players, new players, do the XP and
It was
sell them.
tough though, man, because I really wanted to keep that hero Sabonis, but it's just like, if I'm gonna get Hakeem, it's just like, where does he fit in? I've already got KG, so it's like, oh, where do I go here?
That's the Yep, that's the sacrifice you got to make. Your squad gets stacked up, and front end loaded. You got to start making
Yeah, it
sacrifices.
starts feeling like that question that Gamora posted to Thanos. What did it cost you? And it was just like, yeah, everything. From Infinity War, it's just like it cost me everything just for the dream.
See, that's why in the back of my mind I'm not too upset about some of these unauctionable cards because I'm like, okay, well now this guy has to be on my team
Right.
forever. All right, this spot's filled. Don't have to worry about it.
Right.
Not my fault. So does Hakeem play on your team then?
Oh yeah, definitely starting center. At the 4, we got KG, and then I think at the 3, I think I have a Sags. I'm not even looking at my team, but I want to say it might be Glenn at the 3. Yeah, still got Ben at the starting at the 1 though. Haven't given up on him yet.
Nice. Badge him up and can ride him into the sunset. That's
Yes,
what
sir.
I say. Yeah. So if he makes your squad, do you King Chill? Is it
Yeah.
King Chill with like an eyes
Yeah.
down? Okay, that's what I thought. Do you make your
Hell no,
squad?
I don't make my squad. I don't even think I make my starting 5. I don't make my bench. I might be across the street, asking if y'all want Gatorade, but that's it.
Okay, but maybe we're not talking basketball. Maybe we're talking some other competition. Any other
okay.
competition. Do you make a
Okay,
squad?
if you need a dependable guy that's gonna get you out of a jam, yeah, I'm your glue guy. So that's pretty much what it's like in our space. So it's just like, hey, you know what I'm saying, to put good ideas together. We can ride or die together somewhere, do something, but yeah, very dependable.
I like that. I like dependable. But in the spirit of competition, I haven't seen a dependability competition growing up. Have you ever put yourself up against somebody, whether it was a bake-off or tried to sell the
Oof.
most candy bars for scouts or
Sheesh. That's a tough one. It's a
archery
tough one. That's a loaded one
or
here, man. Where are you going with this one?
yeah?
Yeesh.
I just want to know one story where you've decided that you're going to beat somebody else and you did,
So
and not like beat them up. Like,
so
hey,
against all odds, huh? Okay. I see where
I
you're
get,
going. I like it.
or even against even
Even
odds.
odds.
Maybe a wrestling tournament. Maybe a golf tournament. I don't know why I keep the sun's out, so I start thinking golf. I'll probably golf maybe once all summer, but I'll talk about it all summer.
Okay, I'm gonna take it back to sports. So I'm gonna take it back to 2K. So you remember the very first 2Ks, right? With AI in the cover. And I mean the first ones that
Yeah.
was on Dreamcast. So my cousin had it, and I didn't have 2K. I think I still had a Sega Genesis at the time, so I hadn't even got a chance. No, I had a Nintendo 64, so I wasn't able to upgrade yet. So he had more time than I did to play the game. So I come in, I'm not even supposed to win. We play 2K. The only two good teams that you could play with were Trailblazers and Lakers. So I think that was like 2000s. So you know how good the Trailblazers were in the 2000s, and the Lakers, of course. So the thing I wasn't supposed to win, but I was able to win not only one, but multiple games back to back with him because early discovery was mashing, which he did not know about. So, back to the basket was a bonus, scored about 30 baskets, unanswered against Shaq, couldn't stop me. So that's when I wasn't supposed to win, and I did it every time out. So
That's awesome. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought all these years later we'd still be mashing down low with
yeah, he's still a
Sabonis?
key figure. Crazy, right? See how it comes full circle?
It does come full circle. That's wild. That's why we play. All right. So who helped you make you good at 2K?
I don't want to toot my own horn, but
Was it him? Was it him by
yeah, he
beating
was my
him?
muse. He made me want to step my game up, so I had to. So I would say a little bit of him,
Mhm.
25%, and then 75% me. I had to pat myself on the back. But could I hang with these new guys now? No, but if this was around back then, social media and how we played, I'd definitely be probably one of your top YouTubers. So yeah.
I like it. I like it. Back in my day, I
Yeah,
like that. I live
yeah.
on that. I live on that. So how did you find the My Team mode
Oh
of
man, I
2K?
wanted something different to do. I didn't want to keep playing the play now, so I was just like, let me see what this is all about, and been hooked ever since.
Yeah. And so thanks, Alex, again for the question. Have you ever broken anything as a direct result of playing 2K?
Here recently, no, but I probably gave myself a couple contusions by punching myself in the leg when a three didn't go down, or a dunk didn't go, or a block for a game winner. So instead of punching the wall, I self-inflict myself. So I guess that counts.
It, isn't the punch in the leg the worst move? I've done that move, and it solves
No, it
nothing.
doesn't.
It really
No,
solves
because you're looking
nothing.
at yourself like a
Yeah.
jackass later, like, damn, why did I do that? Now I got this purple stain on my leg. So
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, if people want to find more of you and more, of this self-destructive tendencies, where can they find you?
I'm open on Twitter, same name on Twitch. I post as much as often as I can, little videos, just solo, just playing whatever. And then our space with Ramsey, I Am Gamer, and I thought Green Lantern was in here, but I guess he's not. We do a space on Sundays. Don't want to do any selfless plugs, but you can catch us on Sundays.
Oh, plug it.
at,
No, this is a 100%. You
at
plug away,
7
man.
p.m. Anybody's welcome, open mic, just really freestyle, just whatever's pretty much going on throughout the whole week. If you want to come in and talk about it, please do.
Oh, wait, I'm streaming at that time. Everybody redact that from your memory. You have to be in my phone. No, I'm just kidding. I love this stuff. I love the interactive. I love the spaces. I think it's awesome. Keep doing what you guys are doing
Appreciate
for
it.
sure.
Hey,
And thank you for
I
speaking
will
tonight.
say this about the space, and this is just me, so I can only speak about that, but I will say that you definitely gave me some inspiration to get a band of guys together and really start doing that. So I would kind of say that, officially, you are the inspiration for that.
I appreciate that. I really do. Man. Yeah. Again, I'm not one for compliments, but I really appreciate that. Yeah, keep doing your thing. And I probably will never be live because again, I'm streaming. It's the worst time for me, but just because it's the worst time for anybody else, if it's the best time for you guys do your thing. That's what I've learned about this whole internet. My time works out for somebody, it doesn't work out for somebody else, and vice versa. This is worldwide. Our community is
Yes,
worldwide.
sir. Well, you've
So
always got my
if it works,
appreciation, respect, and all that. I am my support, so I'll always be here when you go live on Tuesdays.
well, thank you. And another one that I have to thank is Dad Bod Joe. It feels like I haven't talked to you
Yes.
forever, Joe.
Come on to the stage, Joe.
Yep, you are up. And it's fun because people have to wait on speaker for so long, and then all of a sudden I call on them, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's all the pressure's on you. And then we just sit silently and wait for Joe to join. And it's not my fault there's dead space. It's all on Joe. Or we jump over to Steven and see when Joe's available.
Hey, were you talking
Oh,
to me?
there's Joe. Yeah, I was talking to you, Joe. You talking to me?
All right, let me step outside.
All right.
Sorry, I'm at a work dinner with some drinks with some coworkers, so I was just kind of
Oh.
sitting in silence with you blaring on over the radio. How's it going?
Good. I'm doing great. So we better get to you early before the drinks take effect, right?
No, I won't be drinking that much. I got to drive.
Oh, okay. Well, good to hear. Good to hear. Glad you get to relax with your coworkers. That's what people need to do a little more often.
Nah, they
Or
can wait.
not
I'm
so
coming out
much
to
if
talk
you
to you
don't.
guys. I haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Fuck them.
appreciate that. You were out of the country for a minute, huh? How did
Yeah.
that go?
It was good. I got a little traveling, saw some family in Germany, spent some time at work in Netherlands, and spent a day in Amsterdam, checked out the red light district, saw some women in lingerie in the windows. My wife
Mhm.
refused to let me partake in the most common tourist activity in Amsterdam on the red light
Yeah.
district. I thought that was really rude of her, but wife
It's
says.
probably better.
Yeah.
That's the
So.
sacrifices you make.
They do
right?
say they're
That's
the cleanest women of the night in the world. So I mean, it wouldn't have been so bad, but yeah, she wasn't a fan. So
all right. So we'll make your question a little bit broader. What was your biggest win of that whole trip?
the biggest win of my trip to the Netherlands,
Yeah. Just because
making connections for work, I think was big. I got 2 job offers while I was over there.
Okay.
But I just started in my new position like 8 months ago, and I feel like a dick if I jump ship that quick. But it's weird because the Netherlands culture, everybody does that. Every 6 months to a year, they're in a new position, which is very unfortunate because we don't get a lot done that way. But it's kind of how they're
Always training new people. Always
Yeah.
training new people. That's great. That's great. So in your time, in your travels, have you played any 2K like
Oh yeah,
regularly?
so I was there.
Okay.
I brought my PS4 so that I could log in
Nice.
every day because my wife said, no, I'm not logging in for you. I don't care who Glenn Rice is. So I did that. And that wasn't a big issue. I just basically got on their really crappy hotel Wi-Fi and just logged in. And then after that, I got home. I told my wife, I promise I won't play as much 2K. And so then after that, I dedicated a lot of time to getting Hakeem and lied to her. She wasn't happy. But I have Hakeem now, so that's good.
Nice. Does he play on your squad?
So far, yeah, I just got him a couple days ago, or yesterday. Maybe.
All right.
I don't remember. 2 days ago. But
So what's your go-to MT making method to get Hakeem to keep the coffers full?
honestly, I got Don, the coach, +8, and now I've been just selling everything I can sell that's not locked or reward.
Okay.
Because I don't care about the rest of the level up stuff. I just wanted the +8 coach. And
All right.
from my experience, if you get to 4,000 cards or whatever they set the limit to this year, that like Tatum card, he was good, but there were other equally good, if not better, options for Invincibles. So like, it's not worth it to me to get that final level up card for the sake of, hey, you got it, cool, the server's turning off in here, good luck with that. Here comes 2K24. So I don't want to work on saving up MT enough to get to that level of cards just for them all to disappear in a year after I get to that level. So I have no interest.
Sure. Yep. And this doesn't have to be basketball related, and it might be. Do you make your squad?
Oh hell no, my knee's shot. I've got a bad left knee. I had sciatic
And it
nerve
doesn't
damage
have to
in
be
my left
basketball related.
Oh yeah.
Like
So
any competition squad. Do you make any team that competes in anything? Would you put yourself on?
design engineering,
Okay.
yeah, I would absolutely for
Okay.
anything integration design, robotic design. I would walk the floor with a lot of people. So I'm pretty good
Okay,
with that.
tell me about a robotic design competition
I have
that you were in that you won.
I have a patent, and it was applied patent that was accepted, and now it's a published patent. I mean, that's a win, right?
That's a huge win. That's not that's a huge win. That's not a question mark win. That's a exclamation point capital win.
Yes, that's my
All right.
win. My work doesn't really care, but hey, I care.
Hey, and now I care.
Yeah.
So I put me on the I care team.
Sounds good.
All right.
You're in it.
Mhm. And so who made you good?
My wife,
at-
my mom, and now Tim. Yes.
Yeah, there's 3. Hey, the team's growing.
3
all
people
right?
rooting for me
Keep
now.
going.
Yeah, it's definitely growing.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And so who made you good at that?
My wife. 100% my wife. So
Okay.
she was in college when I met her. Don't ever interview me, by the way, because I'd have to disclose on so much of my personal life, and you have a hell of an interview story. But anyway, I'm serious. Don't. My wife, she was going to college. She's working a few jobs, and I was inspired by how hard she was working. So I went to college finally in my late 20s. And got my bachelor's degree at like 32, and then my master's at 35, 34. I forgot. Just a few years ago, not too long ago. And I wouldn't have done any of that without her, and I wouldn't have got my patent if I wasn't in college. So she drove me to do better for
That's
myself.
Yeah, that's a huge shout out. Right?
Yeah.
And then so in this journey, how did you stumble across 2K My Team?
So it's actually kind of funny is My wife had no idea I was a basketball fan when I met her because the job I worked was second shift, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. I was working 72 hours, sometimes 84 hours a week, every single week for 5 years. And I met her at the very tail end of working there before I got fired for falling asleep at work. And long story. Turns out I found out that my fatigue issues are actually related to gluten, which I didn't know was even a thing back then. It didn't find out for like 6 more years. But I didn't actually fall asleep at work. I had a gluten reaction fatigue episode. And I fell asleep on top of a crane over a furnace in a steel forge. So you can imagine that's not the most comfortable place to fall asleep. But they said, you fell asleep, so I got fired. Anyway, long story short, I ended up going, well, fuck that, let's move. We went to Arizona. I decided to go to Arizona State University, got my bachelor's degree, started working on my master's degree, and I saw, hey, PlayStation Plus has my team, or not my team, 2K20 for free. And I'm like, why not? You know, and this is before Kobe passed away, and I'm a huge Kobe fan. My dog's named Kobe. My other dog's named Penny, so basketball related, and she never even caught that. She never realized where they came from, which I find funny. And so I ended up getting 2K20, started on the My Career path, went 2 seasons in my career offline, purely offline. Tried Park, hated it. The people were very toxic, did that for a while. Started building a different profile, which has now been deleted off of Twitter, and there's still some YouTube stuff, but then I'm like, I'll try this My Team thing, and I got hooked instantly. And then I have a gambling addiction from before 2K, and so that gambling addiction rolled into 2K, and I bought like $3,000 or $4,000 worth of packs in 2K21. And she's like, what the hell's going on? Why are you buying all this? And I'm like, I don't know. I need all the cards. I need every Jordan. I need every Kobe. So I spent thousands of dollars on 2K21, and it was just like, I was so excited that I could collect cards in a virtual space because I was a huge card collector in my first house. I foreclosed my first house in 2008. It's pretty common back then to have that happen. And when it happened, I forgot my entire basketball, football, hockey, NASCAR card collection, baseball, everything was up there. I had Ken Griffey Jr. cards, I had Hakeem Olajuwon cards, I had Jordan cards, I had Troy Aikman cards, O.J. Simpson cards, his rookie card.
A lot of cards.
I forgot them all in the attic, and they foreclosed and threw everything in the dumpster, and I couldn't recover it. I even went back and tried digging through the dumpster, and I couldn't find them. So maybe they pawned them, I don't know. And so when I saw there was this way to virtually collect cards, I thought this is amazing. And then 2K,
there you were.
Yeah, 2K20.
Being a basketball fan, and now the virtual card collecting, you were hooked.
Yeah, and 2K20, but suddenly the servers turned off. And I go, why can't I log in? Where's my team? I had no idea they shut the servers off after 2 years. And then 2K22, I said, fuck this, I'm not buying it. Sorry for my language, but I said, I am not buying that. And then I waited till it was free, and I got it. 2K22 it was free on PlayStation Plus for a few months.
Yeah. So getting into the My Team mode, has it forced you to break anything?
No, I'm not a rageaholic.
No, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
I'm not like that.
Some more mellow vibes.
Yeah, I get worked up at real life things. Not worked up in a bad way, but worked up in an excitement way. So I don't get too mad.
Yep, well, that's good because we need more mellow vibes, non anger.
I will say though, I do express my emotions, and it's been very helpful to have My Team because I have a place to vent and say, things like this game's broken and they screwed this up and why the heck do they do that? Ronnie 2K sucks. Hey Jimmy, fix your game. Stuff like that. And Jimmy's amazing because I'll message him and be like, why is this like this? And Jimmy's like, well, hey, this, that, and the other. I'm like, God damn, why is he always got to make sense? So level-headed. So it's helped me because in real life, at old jobs, I'd take that out at work, that same kind of emotion, that adrenaline rush to say, why is this broken? Why is that this? How did you smash that? Because I was a maintenance guy. So I was fixing people's broken issues, and it drove me nuts. And with 2K, I'm like, I got that same ability to vent. So when I go to work, I'm like, that's broken. Shit happens. It'll happen again. Whatever. I'll fix it.
Fix it. Get another one.
Yeah, no big deal. So it's really helped in that maturity.
So the even keel vibes. I like that, Joe. I like that out of you. So if more people want to get in on the even keel vibes of the Dad Bod Joe train, where's the best place they can find you?
Usually Idaho, if you're talking in a literal sense. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Sometimes Netherlands, but I am at the Dad Bod Joe on Twitter, as you can probably see if you click my name right now. Otherwise, it's Dad Bod Joe, not to be confused with Dad Bod Joey, who wants to start a lawsuit with me on Twitch streaming. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're ever going to
Yeah.
pick a random name to go with a new profile on social media, make sure nobody else has a close one. They might get their panties in a bunch, apparently.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I did want to touch on a few points you made earlier. If anyone hasn't heard Jimmy Butler's story of growing up, of what happened to him in his life, about kicked out his house at 14 and growing up with like an estranged family through high school, look up the story of Jimmy Butler and the life issues he's had to get where he is today to be an NBA star, and the reason why he puts in 50 plus points in critical games to put in 100% of his effort. Because if you heard his story and you watch his story, you'd understand where that drive comes from and how he knows when to prioritize all of his energy. So if anyone on here hasn't heard Jimmy Butler's story, go look it up. And
absolutely.
then another thing, in real life, moment of excellence, you know, you're talking about sports and stuff. I've said this a few times, but 98-99 division steals leader in 8th grade basketball on the 8th grade team. I was number 16 in 7th grade, which is a picture I posted recently, but I was number 1 jersey because I was the starting point guard, and I'm like, I want to wear number 1. So yeah.
Nice.
And the last thing is there's no such thing as a Vikings bandwagon fan. So for you to be a Vikings fan all these years, Tim, good for you. Props on you.
Yeah, long suffering. Yeah, we're not bandwagon. It's called long suffering.
Yeah.
And you just accept it. You just accept it. Yeah. Well, thanks a bunch, Joe. Another guy I haven't been able to talk to in a while, Steven A.G. Smith. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you doing, Tim?
I'm doing
How you
well.
doing
I'm
today?
doing well. Yeah, I dig Tuesdays. It seems like forever since I talked to you. It seems like
I
you
know
were
it's
way back
it's been
then
about a
you were
month.
playing World of Tanks.
Well, I still play the game.
I know you do. I know you do.
It's actually
Come
funny
on.
that you mentioned that because I got my little tax refund. Filed my taxes. I was pretty happy to find out I got a good chunk of money back, and
Okay.
decided to, instead of spend money on packs for 2K, I basically did the same equivalent in World of Tanks, and their currency is a lot different. So there's there's 3 different types or whatever. But I had paid $100, but I ended up actually getting not only basically more tanks that I was actually excited to play, I also got over $100 worth of the currency. So I got more than my money really was worth on that. So.
And you knew what it was your money. You decided to spend it on the game you wanted to spend it on, and everybody vibes. That's it.
Exactly.
Just like when somebody wants to spend $100 and rip a 450, let them do it. Whatever.
Yep.
Your money.
I don't judge anybody anymore, man. I just sit here and I'm like, I don't want to do it no more. If I'm buying BC, I'm putting it to my player.
There you go.
I enjoy that.
So aside from the games, give me something. Give me a win, IRL this past week. It could be big, could be little, could be anything. Best thing that happened this week.
Best thing that happened this week. I started working at Discount Tire.
Okay.
As of yesterday, so I'm pretty excited. To be I think it's a service technician.
So. Okay. And then you'll be in the pit crew for NASCAR in no time.
Who knows, man?
Right. Never know. You never know. So are you trying to get Hakeem or nah?
Slowly inching my way towards him by playing about 2 games of literally any mode in a day. So,
okay. And that's still progress. That's still progress.
It's forward.
Yeah. So it's no shot to Rye Guy. We're going to skip the second question about your MT method, because when you play as much as you do, I don't think you really need to go to MT method. But
my MT method is play game.
yeah, go play the 2 games and get your 4 or 5K. Do that for 20 days. End up with a hundy. There you go. Why not, huh?
Yep.
And so Hakeem's pretty good. He makes a lot of people's squad. Do you make your squad?
As the all hustle first team, most definitively I make that squad, because man, oh man, if you ever seen me on that court, man, I make the most hustle plays you would ever imagine.
Okay, tell tell me about a time that you succeeded then in this competition, this hustle, and it could be not basketball, it could be anything. Give me a competition story where you and your teammates won.
Oh, I love telling this story. So it was my junior year, and we're going into the 200, and my race was a couple races out, and I remember I was warming up, and I overheard my coach say, we were down on a few points or whatever. If somebody could win the 200, like we'd be up. So at that point in time, I was like, all right, time to put my big boy boots on. And at the time, I think I was like 5'5", like maybe barely 100 pounds. I was the smallest dude on the track, but everybody on my team knew. They were like, he's one of the fastest. So I go out there, on your marks, get set, bang. Getting out the curve, first 100 meters, I'm slightly lacking behind. As soon as we hit that straightaway, it was me and this guy. He'd catch a little bit, then I'd catch it. He'd go a little bit further, I'd push a little further. He'd push a little further, and by the end of the 100 meters, I don't know. I think I beat him by like 200ths of a second. But that was the most clutch moment or like hustle moment I could ever consider in my entire life.
Do you think overhearing your coach talk about how much they needed the win, did that change the game for you?
Oh, most definitely. Because
Wow.
at that point in time, I stopped thinking about I need to run for me, and I need to run from me to the team, and I put the team over me. Because God, when that race was over, I was dead.
Left it all on the court. That is awesome. That is awesome. See, and that could have went either way. You could have heard your coach say that, and that could have been too much pressure, and you cracked. But it wasn't. And you were just a lad, just a young lad at that point. So you know what's inside you.
Yeah.
So who helped make you good at track?
Honestly, it was that coach. It's really funny because one of my closest friends now, it's actually his dad, and I've ran track with him ever since I was like 10 years old. So I think we ran together for like 8 years.
Wow. Yeah, and still having a connection with them. That is awesome. That is awesome. So running around as a youth, how did you run into NBA 2K My Team?
So I actually didn't run into my team until really last year, and didn't even really follow basketball up until like the end of 2019. Because me and all my friends were playing all these games or whatever, and 2K20 was on sale. And then my friends were like, oh, we're all gonna get 2K, we're all gonna get 2K. And it was a Christmas sale. So I was like, I'll drop $20 on this basketball game. It can't be that bad. Made my player, started playing Park a bunch with my friends, bought some VC, upgraded my guy. And I played through probably my one and only full season of my career and became a Suns fan. But I lost a chip to the Bucks because I had to guard Giannis the whole time, and my player was not equipped to guard Giannis. And that was before Chris Paul, before Kevin Durant, before that shit. We probably had I can't remember who was on that team. I just know it was Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. The only 3 guys I could remember who were good. And that was the story of how I became a Suns fan.
Oh, wow. So not only a 2K fan, but also you picked your team that way too.
Yep. It was the first ever team that I played on in 2K. And I tried to lead them to a championship, but we lost in Game 7. And ever since then, I've been a solidified Suns fan.
That's huge. That's huge. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's huge. So
people
in this
like to
2K
make jokes about it, but I love it. It's
in this 2K journey, is it forced you to break anything IRL?
It's funny that you asked that because I've been thinking about this question, and I didn't intentionally break it, but let's just say the AFK method had me lose a TV.
The TV was destined to die anyway. All right, it was. You can't blame the greatest thing that's ever happened to 2K for breaking your TV. All right.
Oh no, you're right on that one. You're right on that one.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. That's, I guess, by proxy, that's a broken. So no rage moments. That's good. That's good.
I think the whenever I rage at 2K, I put my one hand up and I just hit my desk. If it's anything louder than that, it's unnecessary.
And it's just the once, just the one
Uh,
smack, or is it a couple times, or how does that look?
Sometimes it can go 2 to 3, but if it hits 4, then usually my dad comes in the room. We don't do that around here, so I don't like having my dad in my room.
Smart. You can. There's a point you can take your rage to where it becomes a burden. I like
Yeah.
that. I like your limits. Mhm. So if people need more of this rage controlling, I guess, advice, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at Stephen A. G. Smith on Twitter, Stephen A. G. Smith on Instagram, Gristle Missile 1K on Twitch when I decide to stream whatever game I feel like playing, which hasn't
Well,
happened in I think a month.
it's no pressure. Do your thing. You're working. You're a working man now. All right.
Hey, that's no
That's good.
excuse. All you guys are working men.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, I was trying to give you an excuse. That's right. Yeah. Why the hell aren't you streaming every day? What's up? You asked for it. You asked for it, bud.
I got myself into a funk, and I stopped playing, and I just
No.
kind of just didn't want to entertain myself anymore. So I stopped entertaining everybody else.
I like it. Oh, I like it. That's a T-shirt right there. I stopped entertaining everyone else. That's the back of the T-shirt. Well, thank you. Thank you. Entertained me just now. I appreciate that.
Hey, thank you for having the space, man.
Absolutely. We're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna keep moving the space right into one of our question submitters, Alex. Alex Lothar. How you doing?
Hi.
How's it going today?
Good.
Give me the best thing that's happened. I know you had some sickness. Are you feeling better?
Yeah.
Good to hear. Give me something good that's happened this last week.
I beat my brother in chess.
Oh,
Now that's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah.
that's right. And he was talking a big game last week too.
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations. See, I almost don't even want to ask you about Hakeem now, but I will. Did you get Hakeem yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, I hear he's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
In your journey to get Hakeem, you got to get some MT. And shout out to
Yeah.
Rye Guy. What's your MT making method when you need some?
Just grind unlimited, really.
Oh, okay. Unlimited sweat, figures,
Yeah.
competition. You need that competition.
Yeah.
You can only beat Cole so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you make your squad?
Probably.
Probably. Okay. What team? What competition are you doing? What is it? Basketball or is it something else? Is it chess? Is it cooking?
Basketball.
Is it basketball? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You played some basketball in your time?
Yeah.
You have a fun basketball story to tell me?
Nope.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah. Do you have an unfun basketball story to tell me?
What's
the first thing you remember about playing basketball?
I could shoot.
Oh, was it easy?
Yeah.
What made it so easy? Did you have a good teacher? Who taught you how to shoot?
Me.
Self-taught.
Yeah.
And are you teaching Cole how to shoot?
It's like teaching Russell Westbrook how to shoot.
Oh. Is it?
Yeah, it really is.
Was that TikTok? Was that really Cole?
Yeah.
Was it? And you taught him how to shoot?
Yeah.
And that was an air ball.
Yep.
Okay, so was it sabotage? Did you teach Cole a bad way to jump shoot?
No.
Alex, I need the truth.
Not at
Okay.
all.
All right. Okay. Well, in your basketball journey, how did you find 2K My Team, the My Team mode?
I just saw the game was like 80% off and I was bored of playing all like shooter games, so I just downloaded it and picked the mode.
Okay. And were you hooked right away? What was the thing that hooked you about it? Was it the basketball part or the card collecting?
Probably card collecting.
Yeah, I think that's what hooked me too. Who's your favorite player all time?
Favorite player all time is probably Steph Curry.
Really? Do
Hey,
you have
how come
any?
I didn't get that question? No,
Hey, I'm talking to Alex. All right. Yeah, I changed it up. The space got an Evo. Steph Curry, huh? That's
Yep.
awesome. That's all. Do you have any IRL cards of Steph Curry?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite Steph Curry card?
Probably the Davidson.
Oh, okay. Is it graded?
Nope, not yet.
Is it a hard case?
Yeah.
Okay, smart. In this 2K journey, my buddy Alex submitted this question about breaking things. Have you ever broken something playing 2K?
No, not at all.
I don't believe you.
The only things I haven't broken anything. I've just jammed everything really.
Just jammed. What does that even mean? I jammed up my controller. It's not broken. It's just jammed up.
Yeah, really.
I'm
Just
not
like stick
buying it.
drift.
Oh, it's got some serious stick drift because the stick's laying on the ground next to the controller.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, okay. See, I figured. And you're the one that submitted the question. I knew deep down there's probably a whole list of things that you've broken, and that the parents don't even know about yet. That you just have to quietly ask for your next birthday, right?
No, not really. Don't need anything.
Okay. Well, good. Well, let's keep that rage down. And you're doing well at that. What I've noticed lately.
Yep.
So if people want to find more of this Steph Curry fandom, where can they find you?
Just Twitter, really.
Just Twitter?
Yep.
Twitter's pretty good. Twitter's a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
So you can say, hey, you can find me on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Get a little bass in your voice.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself, Alex.
Okay.
I'll find you on Twitter. I'll look you up right now.
Okay.
I'm going to follow you right now. But thanks as always for hanging out.
No problem.
Thanks for submitting the question.
No problem.
It was definitely the most entertaining question.
Yeah.
And we are gonna kick it over to another entertaining person, Mr. Matt Bless.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. It's been another one. It feels like it's been a while since I talked to you.
Yeah, I haven't popped in here for a few weeks. I've been
I know we
busy
had our
on
falling
Tuesdays.
out and everything because I'm kind of anti-Iowa and that kind of rubbed you the wrong way.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, because when I lived in Minnesota, and it's a true story, and when I lived in Minnesota, that they said, and sorry, Jimmy, this isn't a shot, or Ty Debo, if you're anybody else from Iowa, but the thing was, you'd say, why does the Mississippi River run south? Because Iowa sucks. And that was a Minnesota joke. I don't live in Minnesota. That's what they said. That's what
Don't
they
worry.
said.
We make the same jokes about Nebraska, so
It flows downhill. That joke literally flows downriver.
yeah. It really does. It really does. I remember there was kind of a parody. He showed up on College Game Day a handful of times, handful of years ago. He was called the Iowa Nice Guy, and he ran a satirical campaign for governor. And one of his proposals, one of the things he was going to do was to annex Omaha because, and I quote, "A city that exciting doesn't belong in a state that boring." So yeah, we do the same to Nebraska. It's all fair.
Yeah, it's local humor is the best humor. It's the salt of the earth stuff. It's the salt of the earth stuff that I enjoy about
Tim,
people. Oh yeah,
Tim, don't mean to cut into you. How about shout out Matt? But how about Trae Young season on the line? Logo Trae in the garden, bang! Hawks lead 119, 117. Rye guy, y'all always find a way to show up, don't you? Them shitty Celtics, 1.9, bang!
See, IRL sports updates. Where can you find this? This is great. This is great.
Right.
Speaking of salt of the earth, I like that. So that's a big win for Trae, it sounds like.
Yeah.
best thing for him. Give me a best thing for you this last week.
You know, things I think have just been going really well in general. Just getting a lot of positive feedback, getting a lot of hearing a lot of good, seeing a lot of good just being done in life, just in general. You know, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know,
that's the win. And then spring's coming.
Yep.
Things, positive vibes, I think, follow spring, unless it's like
Yep.
turbulent like it is here. Then you're like,
Yep.
oh, geez, spring's coming.
I mean, it's a little up and down here too, but yeah.
And you roll with the punches, and you
Yep.
keep making progress. And like
Yep.
in 2K, keep grinding towards level 40. Have you gotten Hakeem yet?
Absolutely not.
No.
I have, gosh, I have played almost 0 2K in a while. It's been MLB and FIFA for me.
Okay,
So,
that's all right. That's all right. So
Yeah.
you're not even sorry, Rag Guy. But Matt's not even worried about how to grind MT. So
not
so you-
really. Yeah.
but
Not
those
really.
those are quality games. Those top
Mhm.
tier games. Your game, how about that? Is your game top tier? Do you play?
Man,
Would somebody
you
describe
know,
your game as that Matt he plays?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to. There are a lot of ways I can take that.
Remember, you got to be your biggest cheerleader. Okay.
Yeah,
All right?
yeah, I know. There are a lot of ways I could take that question, and I don't know which way to take it. Basketball wise, maybe I don't know. I played some ball in the gym this morning, and it did not go so well.
Let's say
but
you hear on the radio, hey, there's this blank competition that wins money. What competition is that you join?
it's a very good question. I feel like I'm a bit of a jack of all trades and master of none.
So you're entering
But-
all the competitions and winning none.
Right.
So-
I'm entering all the competitions, doing pretty good at them all, but winning none.
Yeah. Passport
and
is
that's
stamped, trophy case is empty. So that's good.
yeah. See, I don't know. Yeah, and that's why I kind of feel like I can't quite answer the question properly, because it's like there are a lot of things where I feel like, yeah, I'm pretty good at this, but I'm not the very best at it. You know, I feel like I'm well rounded, just not a specialist anywhere.
Well, I've never seen a Iowa-based theme team as good as yours. So
That's true. I would definitely win that competition.
yeah, I put you against
by
anybody.
default, which as we know is the best way to win.
Yeah, you can only play who you're up against.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And a win's a win. So
Yep.
who made you so good at or who made you so good at everything?
You know, I think it's, for me, it's probably a little bit my dad, a little bit my grandpa. You know, my grandpa was like just a game specialist, I guess you could say. The way I always talk about my grandpa and the way I always introduce him is the way that toward the end of his life, he really loved to bowl. And toward the end of his life, he got cataracts. And about his last season of bowling, he averaged 140, which doesn't sound impressive at all until you take into account the fact that he literally could not drive because of cataracts. So before that, he was averaging like 180. He was a very good bowler. And he taught me all sorts of card games, cribbage, rummy, all 500, all sorts of stuff like that. My dad was kind of that jack of all trades. You know, he could throw darts, he could bowl a little bit, he could do kind of all these little things.
Pitch
And
some
I,
horseshoes, change a tire,
yep,
change.
yeah. I'm still not so good at that kind of stuff, but
Hey.
but a lot of games activities. My grandpa played a lot of a game. I don't know. You might have heard of it, might not have. Called dart ball, which is you've got these kind of thick darts that you toss underhand at a board that looks like a baseball diamond, and you can hit singles, doubles, triples, home runs. My grandpa was very good at that and taught me how to do that. So like things like darts, just all sorts of little games, skills like that. I feel like
Skill-based activities,
yeah,
that you
yeah,
could make you well-rounded in things that aren't
yeah,
have anything to do with the game.
yep,
I like that. I like that.
yep.
So how did you stumble across 2K My Team then?
It's funny because I was 2K16 was really my first modern 2K. I had 2K13 as well. And 2K16, I exclusively played My Career, Play Now online. And then 2K17, I basically did the same. I had a pro-am team I was on. I played a lot of Play Now online. And I don't quite know how, but at one point I just kind of decided to check out My Team. And it was right around that time where in 2K17, they had an Easter promotion for Diamond Dennis Rodman. And I'm like, sure, why not? And the first pack I got, because I've got all this, VC saved up from My Career and Play Now Online and all that kind of stuff. First pack I opened, there's Dennis Rodman. So I figured, well, we might as well try this, I guess. And I really enjoyed it. I really kind of fell in love with it. And then for better or for worse, because as each year kind of passed, I liked it a little bit less. So
Hey, you're chasing that high. You're chasing that Rodman
I
high.
guess.
Keep
Well,
coming back.
and it wasn't even that. It was more so, I really liked the concept of it, and every year since that, I've just kind of felt that concept slip a little bit further and further away from what I really enjoyed, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is.
In your journey, before you bailed on 2K, in your journey, did it ever force you to break anything?
Not as much. There have been a couple of controllers where I just, I'll hit it hard. I hit it hard against the back of my hand, and it just popped a little loose. But other than that, nothing bad.
Just smack the controller around a little bit. Okay.
Yeah,
that ain't too bad.
and I don't do that anymore now that I've got I got an Xbox Elite controller, and I try to keep pretty good care of it. So.
Yeah, this decision making happens before the rage gets followed through.
Mm-hmm.
When you're dealing with more expensive toys, it's
Yep.
It's easier to control the rage.
Yep.
Well, that's good.
Can't afford it.
Yeah, that's good. People can learn a lot from that. And so if they want to continue learning from you, how do they do that?
Yeah, I guess here. And then I'm around Twitch a lot, mostly in chats. But yeah, so
okay.
Same tag as here. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate you finding us here as well, as always.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Olajuwon, I hear is him, is what they say. The kids are saying he's him, or Himothy is what they say.
Everyone is at this point.
Him-Akeem.
That's right. Him-Akeem. That's right. But thanks a bunch, Matt.
Yeah, thank you.
Up next, if my math is correct, I do got to get Junior in here. Missed Junior last week, which is fine. I don't expect you to be here every week. All right. And I when I say I missed you, that don't make excuses. I'm just saying, hey, it's nice to talk to you again. Junior, how you doing?
What's up, man?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Chilling with my friends. You know that. Talking to another one of my friends now. So thank you. We're talking about good things that happened. Anything good happened to you this last week?
Well, I aced the history quiz. Somehow. Thank you for doing it.
Nice history buff. I like that. Any type of celebration, like a big dinner or something?
Wait, you said a big winner or big dinner?
A big dinner, like a dinner. Anything that you hang it on the fridge. How do you celebrate ace in the test?
Well, since the quizzes are kind of little, I don't really celebrate those.
We got to work on that. All right. New mission. Get Junior to celebrate the little things in life. All right. Let me put that down on the list. All right. And so, Hakeem, are you going for Hakeem?
Oh, Hakeem?
Hakeem.
Wait, you asking if I got him already?
Are you? Either one. If you're going for him or you got him.
Oh, yeah. I got him like a couple days ago.
And is he
I was on
pretty
my
awesome?
DFS grind.
Nice. So what's your MT method in your road to getting to level 40? What's your move?
Well, my MT method would be honestly just sniping to get like the most part of it, and then if I get any pack luck, then that's like a fourth option. But other than that, it's just playing the game.
Okay, yeah, the game you can make a little MT here and there. We like that.
And then
Olajuwon on your team. He plays?
Yep.
Does he start?
He's power forward 1.
Okay. How about Junior? Does Junior play on your team?
Like high school
Whatever team that is. It could be a high school team. It could be a baking club. It could be a swim team. It could be a ski team. Are you on the team? What team are you on?
Well,
when you want to compete.
I think the most thing I'm proud of, like competing wise for a team, would be my beta club, which is like you have to get top 25% grades in your school, or I guess high school.
Okay. Yeah. Oh no, that's not what I think. It's awesome. That is a awesome man. Yeah, that's a team I'd want to be on for sure. Good on you. So who helped make you so smart?
I don't know. I think I just have good teachers.
Okay, that's big. That's big. Teachers can make all the difference. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
I know it's like a little bit oversaid, but I think it's a little undersaid about how underpaid teachers are.
Facts. And the things, because like that, there's a movie called Dangerous Minds. If you've never watched it, it's pretty much true to life about every school everywhere, and teachers have it rough. So check that out. That's how I learned how tough the school system is.
Because like
Dangerous Minds.
Without teachers, there are no high-paid doctors. Without anything, like teachers.
There's no rules without teachers.
Yeah.
So that's good. But make sure you thank your teachers tomorrow. Do me a favor tomorrow and thank them, and it'll just be bizarre because you'll thank them out of the blue.
Actually, I think next week is my school's teacher appreciation week.
Oh, you're gonna wait till then? Yeah. Why celebrate early?
I've already started my teacher appreciation week.
Okay, how does that look?
I gave a couple cookies to a couple of my teachers and the guidance counselor, and I think that was like real different to them because they haven't received much of that.
Oh yeah, because people think outside. People don't assume that they're teachers, but they are just as much teachers as this person teaching you math in the classroom.
Yeah.
Good on you, Junior. Well done. So in your path to being an awesome human, how'd you come across 2K My Team?
Well, I've I've been a fan of 2K since 2K13, 14, probably around there. And what did 2K? My team get like put in like 2K15, 2K16. I wasn't very knowledgeable of that mode till about 2K19, and I think I saw a DBG video, and I think it was the OG Hito videos, and it
Okay.
just looked like he was having so much fun with it. You know, the good old days.
I'm pretty sure he's still having fun with 2K.
I don't know.
Has in your journey with 2K, it can be a little rage inducing. Have you ever broken anything as a result of playing 2K?
I think everybody's broken a little controller here or there.
Sure. Yeah, stick drift.
Yeah.
Extreme stick
We'll
drift.
call it stick drift. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think I've only broken like a controller like out of rage, and then the other ones it's just been, I think they've been getting too old because I like to cherish things that, you know, actually are worth something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
like wasting my parents' money.
Love that. Yeah. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And the longer you can keep it nice, the longer it'll stay nice. Yeah. All right. Well, teacher appreciator, junior trendsetter.
Mm-hmm.
When people want history major, when people want to find you, where do they find you?
Sorry, I'm playing Rocket League with my friend. I just absolutely hit the hell out of him.
Rocket? You play Rocket League?
Yep. It's one
Bruh.
of my side hustles.
Oh, it's another game that I'm not really good at that I enjoy.
Did we just become best friends?
Exactly. Did we just become best friends, Junior? We gotta exchange some details.
I think we
All
did.
right, we're gonna Rocket League it up. At some point, we'll Rocket League it up, or I will say that and never do it, like I've done many times. But as of right now, we are planning on playing Rocket League at some point, whether you like it or not. How about that?
I think I'll like it.
All right, perfect. I appreciate you, Junior. And anything else? Anything else to add on your way out? What's the next big test coming up?
Hold up. It's either 1 day or 2 days, I think, and it's a biology test. And not biology test, environmental science.
Okay.
So
Well, make sure that you know what subject it is before you hop into the test.
yeah, I really need to get down the subjects.
Yeah.
But I got one question for you. You know, reverse the roles a little.
All right.
How was driving 10 hours to see the grandbaby?
It was fantastic. Fantastic. I appreciate that question because I went under there kind of under false pretenses. I thought I was going to help teach people how to tape drywall, but I got there and the drywall was not even hung. So that's what I did. And that physical labor that I'm not used to anymore and the 10-hour drive, it was still 1,000% worth the time I got to spend with that little girl. And and that's the thing you got to appreciate.
Yeah, I saw your post and also your wife, your girlfriend's
wife. Yeah,
I saw her post. By the way, go follow her. Without his wife, there would be no T Smalls.
Hey, teamwork makes the dreams. Or I think it's teamwork makes these jeans twerk. Is that what that is? I don't know how the phrase goes. But thank you, Junior, for sure.
Yeah, happy wife.
I appreciate the question. Yeah, but we got to kick it over to Jimmy Crack Corn though.
Sounds good.
We're on into the night, so Jimmy Crack Corn. This is how it's going to go.
Okay, tell me.
If you can have your time, and then if Stephen A.G. Smith can stick around long enough to close the space.
Perfect. Awesome. So I've been taking notes.
Okay, excellent. How are you doing? First of all, Jimmy. How are you doing?
I'm very good. I'm traveling for work in Denver, and I had some responsibilities for a presentation today. I was preparing late into the night last night. I woke up 2 hours early this morning to get it ready to go. I presented, and I like Gru from Despicable Me when he's like, crushing it. That's how I felt afterwards. I'll recommend this to you. I was in a room of people that I had a surface level working relationship with. Some of them I knew of them through emails and other things, but hadn't yet committed their faces to their names into memory. So as I was prepping to do my part, which also involved calling on people that had things to say, I wrote down everybody's names, and then I practiced from my seat naming them, so that when somebody asked or raised their hand, I could not only say, you start talking, similarly like how we have our profiles, but it's like IRL. And using that technique, I thought it helped. And I would say, this teacher, I think it's important to do. And I want to say, you didn't put any qualifiers on not thanking you, Tim, but thank you for hosting this. Thank you for being such a locked in, engaging host and listener, gracious, inviting so many people from the community, even people that have disowned or moved away from 2K. So my IRL win this week is basically the presentations that I did today in Denver at a conference. I got to share an IRL basketball story where I felt like a champion. Last game of 9th grade basketball, I was on a team where I was like the 8th or 9th best player. I'd never start. I'd get into the game for like 4 minutes out of however long. Right before halftime, my coach looks at me. He says, go in there and shoot a 3. And, so I did it, hit the 3. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. But just getting ready to start the second half on the bench again. Well, after halftime, coach is like, hey, people who finished, you're back on the court right now. So I'm like, that's me. So I still had that juice, and I started hucking shots. I hit 3 threes in a row. I hit a running jumper in the lane. I got fouled, and I hit both free throws. I ended up going for a career high of 13 points. And that might not seem like much, but when you got feelings like you're on that all-star team and you have that vindication, but you don't yet have a chance to maximize your potential because the coach never puts you in at shortstop, or they never give you that chance. My coach, LaShane Sadler, and DJ Ice Ed Mead, they were a team. They were a dynamic duo. They instilled confidence in me to where that was the last organized basketball that I played until I played some rec league in college and other things. But it made me and motivated me to keep playing that sport well into my life. I'm 40 now. I still play. I always look forward to Sunday nights playing. Tell you a time that I wasn't a winner, flashback to 7th grade. When I was in 7th grade, my parents were like, you're going to try every sport. And every sport at that time is football in the fall, wrestling in the early winter, basketball in the late winter, and then track. I was one of 27. And I'm not like Stephen A.G. I don't even count all of the track meets that I lost, all of the races that I ran, because I was never close to winning any of those. I won one basketball game and lost every other competition I had, including going 0 for 14 in wrestling. I only didn't get pinned 2 times. So right now, I feel like I'm richer than I've ever been because I can share successes, but I also was able to grow from those defeats. Another instance where I was able to grow from a defeat and where I feel like I am an IRL sweat in something else besides the sports that I play, it's competitive gardening at the local county level. In 2013, I was invited by an elderly female friend of mine that I took an interest in gardening from her because she would come out to the community garden that was right across from my house, and I talked to her. I'd see her there so frequently. Her name's Martha Newsrell. She still lives in the town I live in. She suggested that I submit some of my vegetables, of my produce for the county fair. So I took it there. I had a basket. I had a couple of other things, but I failed to put the plants that a lot of them, they weren't hardy. It wasn't like a tomato that can just sit on the plate in a 90-degree building. They were like leafy vegetables, like kale, like Swiss chard, like this stuff called I forget what the name was. It was like some type of spinach. So I get there, and the highest I got was like 2nd place. I got like a 2nd place ribbon on, I think it was a piece of kale that I brought in. But on a note, for the basket that I put in, the person wrote on the back, it says, hey, put these in water. Like, you have a lot of these plants, put them in water when you're presenting it. I took that advice, came back 2014, had a basket, was one of 60 entrants, and of a lot of different categories. You can enter in one potato and be considered one entrant. So I was one of 60 entrants. Submitted on Wednesday evening. I came back to check it, Thursday afternoon, turned the corner. And all I'm hoping for, all I have my expectations set for is I want one blue ribbon, because I submitted in like 7 different categories, and not everybody submits in every category. It's pretty kind of hit or miss. Turned that corner. Not only did I see a blue ribbon, I saw what you call a purple rosette, which is designated for the person who has the best overall display or vegetable in that entire category. I won that in 2014, and I became a competitive garden sweat in Benton County, Iowa. And I'm proud to say that of the last 7 competitions, I've won 7 consecutive best in shows. It did not happen in 2020.
No.
It did not happen in 2020 because of COVID. It did not happen last year because of some acute medical circumstances of the people that host the event. I showed up with my basket, and I almost started, like, it sounds pathetic as a 39-year-old then, as a 39-year-old man then, to say that I showed up and almost started, like, getting emotional and crying because I couldn't submit my vegetables against maybe 1 or 2 other people that had an interest in it. And it's important to note that, like, our growing season in Iowa was a little bit short because it snowed last weekend. As I was saying, it's 40 degrees of snowing. And they moved the fair up, like, from the middle of July to the middle of June. So that shortens your growing season even more. And it's like something that you plan for months out. I'm planting seeds every year in February, tending to them in my basement, getting them in the ground right around this time for those intervals where they're going to peak after 45 or 60 days. So I had prepared, and I was just met at the door with, we're not doing it anyway. And I'm like, okay, can I just leave this here? Like, I'm just going to leave this here then. I want people to see it. Even if you can't judge it, this is going to stay here. How about that?
Somebody was going to judge this. I don't care if it's not official.
And so it's just like, there is that recognition, yes. But I also view it as, if you go to county fairs or the state fair, especially in Iowa where the state fairs were a pretty big tradition. And don't get me started on arguing who has a better state fair, Minnesota or Iowa, because we might need to do a separate space about that. And check my comment after the space about the joke that I made about Minnesota. So I dropped one for you after you started, spewing hateful rhetoric about the Mississippi. So
thank you. I need to be kept in line.
But I view the fair as a chance for education. It's a chance to see what other people can grow in the community that you live in. It's a chance for people to be proud of things they've worked on, whether it's a painting, whether it's a quilt, whether it's a kid doing a 4-H project where they rehabilitated an old wagon. They took the wheels off. They got different parts. They painted it, all these things. So I view the fair as, it's not just for me, it's for other people. What have I broken?
Yep. You're right. And you mentioned something about it. It might sound pathetic, but it's, being passionate about something is never a bad thing. Ever.
Yeah.
Man, I got excited. You just got me excited about gardening
And
just
I've
now.
got them, and I'm not out here. I don't tell a lot of people about it. I mean, people that know me know it's something that I take seriously, but I'm not out here like, I've got 7 consecutive best in shows at the county level of Benton County. People might ask me, why don't you go to the state level? Well, the state level fair in Iowa is just the Des Moines Fair. It's the Polk County Fair. Because anybody who's around there, I'm not going to drive 2 hours with a thing of vegetables in the back of my car with water that's spilling all over, with the chance that
just for the Polk County favorites to win all the trophies
they're
again.
Give it to some ghost pepper that just looks like a random ghost pepper you could buy at the store, versus this display that this guy actually hand painted of a scene from an Italian restaurant, and he has 8 different kinds of the eggplant. You know what I mean? So please.
No, the award goes to the turnip that looks like Nicki Minaj.
It's like, who are we doing this for?
Exactly. Doesn't make any sense anymore. You got to keep it honest and wholesome, and you have to judge it for what it is, not for what you think it looks like.
And there's people in this space and in this life who things are dictated for them, and there's very little choice about when you're in high school and when your bedtime is, and the control that sometimes your parents need to exert over you when you're in their house. When you get to a certain age, me, Tim, older people that are old heads, maybe in spirit, not necessarily in age, you have a chance to pick your passions. You have a chance to devote specific and acute and targeted energy and effort into those passions. And something that I'm proud of is that I've never been a person that found it hard to invest energy and do those things with passion. And I learned that from my grandpa. I learned that from interactions that my grandpa would have with people. I learned that from my grandpa being deliberate about teaching me things. I learned that from the way he smiled, the way he laughed, just the phone calls that he'd every night. You know, you ever have somebody like this in your life? Every Sunday night at 7:00, we'd get a phone call at my house. It was my grandpa. Who's going to answer the phone this time? Sometimes he didn't want to because he knew it was going to be, what are you going to talk to him about? But man, he called every night, every Sunday night at 7:00. And
that's awesome. And that's something you don't find
don't.
anymore. That right there. You don't find it anymore.
And it's hard for me to talk about him because right when I started the job that I had almost 13 years ago, the day that I started, he passed away. My daughters were at their house, my parents' house, and my daughter brought back the stack of napkins that we'd made for his 80th birthday. And then we made for his celebration of life when he was 81. And they had all of his sayings that he had, because he had all these, you know, he's an old guy. So he had all these like weird sayings, but I could hear him saying it in his voice. And he's a guy that I'd had dreams about, you know, these random dreams. And it wasn't even like he's saying anything. I'm just like in his presence and like talking about it now. I can still feel it. And I can feel his influence. I know that like when Junior's talking about like a teacher and like showing that appreciation to a teacher, and for anybody that works in social services or who devotes their career, their professional and their personal lives toward helping others. And we do that as parents. We do that as people who show support to others. But teachers who do that for a profession, you know, people who are in the nursing, healthcare, other sort of like providing life for people industries, like it's just on a different level. And they don't always get that appreciation. So if you have a chance to tell your teacher, hey, thanks. If you have a chance to tell a social worker, I see what you're doing. If you have a chance to sort of somebody who helps without the expectation of a specific financial reward, those are the heroes, you know, that we're doing. The heroes in my team, those are fake heroes. You know, those are heroes on a card art. These are like IRL heroes.
Yep. And I'm going to use this chance to thank you, Jimmy, for, I don't know if you nailed all the questions, but you made this entertaining. You quantified what the space is about, being able to be passionate about. So whether it's 2K or not.
The only other thing
I
have is I have a couple YouTuber intro impersonations that I wanted to try out. And then I'll pass it off to Stephen AG. What is going on, guys?
But real quick, before you do that, hold on. Wait, Jimmy. Wait, Jimmy. You have to pass it on. You have to pass it on to Rye Guy because he submitted a question. I just want to say thank you. He doesn't have very much time, so he's got just a couple minutes to talk about himself. Okay, now back to you.
What is going on? It's your boy. Hello, friends. That's all I got. What is going on, guys? DBG here. Another video. Here we go.
Jimmy drunk.
Hey, hold on. First of all, you butchered that DBG impression.
I can't.
It's, hey there, lads. Back at it with another My Team video. Today we're going to be talking about another
budget. Let's get to Rye Guy.
Okay, Rye Guy. Thanks, sir.
Rye Guy, floor is yours. We don't have time for questions for you, but I thank you.
Yeah.
Well, tell us something about you. Hopefully it's
I want to talk
the way you
about
dominated.
how my day was going good. My day was going bad because the Celtics lost. My day was going worse because Tim forgot me. So now I'm pretty bad.
Yeah.
But now you're in though. You almost got bumped. Got bumped.
Now I'm in, which makes it a little bit better.
See, yeah, we're a half hour over the 2 hour space
we'll do a better job, Rye Guy. I'm gonna be having a stern talk to Tim after this, regardless.
I need help with my timekeeping.
I want to make this.
I gave a question. I give a question and I get 2 minutes to talk.
Yes,
It's
Rye Guy.
terrible.
Rye Guy, I hear you, and I want to thank everybody who has stuck it out because Ramsey definitely noticed because Ramsey's spot was pushed back a little bit. So Tim and I will be having a chit chat right after this. Don't worry, and we will be better for number 26. Don't worry, Ramsey got y'all on that one. And that's on Dan.
Ramsey.
I had all
Ramsey,
this.
ask a question to Rye Guy. How about that?
Rye Guy. Okay, Rye Guy. I got a question for you.
Okay.
What has been the best part for you making your return to streaming? Because I want to give you all the credit in the world because I'm proud of you. It took the courage to come back 2 years. So, what's been the most fun for you so far? Go.
Most fun. It's got to be people coming by. Like the amount of people I see come by, no matter who it is, whether it's Tim, Jeff, Jimmy, Fed, Jay, anyone coming
Were
by.
you nervous about when you came up with the idea to stream again?
I was definitely nervous. That first stream back, I was like shaking in my boots the whole stream.
And now having gotten a couple streams in, how do you feel?
I'm feeling better about it now. I feel like I can. It's definitely different since the first stream back.
Well, just keep going, man. I'm proud of you.
Hey,
Even if you're a
Ramsey.
shitty Celtic
Hey,
fan.
Ramsey, quit muting your mic. I'm going to mute my mic and I'm going to listen to you, talk to Rye Guy, then figure out how to get it over to Steven and figure out how to end this thing. So I'm just going to listen.
Okay, all right. So anything else?
Oh, I'm in no hurry.
excited for
Just
you
so you know,
this week?
I'm in no hurry. You talk to Rye Guy now.
Hey, you said you were muting. So anything exciting happened for you this week? I mean, there's a guy that's level 40. Do you have
There is
him
a
yet?
guy. I do have him.
And who is that level 40 that you have?
Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon.
All right now. How do you like him?
He's tough.
That's good.
Hamza,
Does he start?
Hamza's seen him in co-op.
Co-op. That's good. Does he start though?
He definitely starts. He starts next to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Yao Ming.
Okay. All right. Like me. You trying to really be my twin out here.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, anything else you got for us?
All I had to say was, I had a story about saying with sports. I had this story back when I was. It's not gonna be long.
Okay.
But it was a story of when I used to play soccer. So I played soccer around my whole life. I stopped playing recently because I started losing interest. But I would say fifth grade. Fifth grade, I was on this travel team. I was playing soccer. I played defense because I'm that last.
You play defense.
Last
Yeah,
line,
that's you.
that last line. That's me.
Okay.
And I got the ball. It was like the game was about to end, right? I was at half field, past half field. I kicked it straight to the goal, went over the goalie's head into the goal, and scored the game-winning goal.
So Mr. Defense himself turned a little offense on. That's what I'm hearing.
From half.
Okay.
From half.
Okay. Talk your shit then. Okay. I like that.
That's all.
I like
That's my story.
Okay. Well, Rye Guy, I appreciate you sticking through and everybody bearing in. We're gonna move it over to I think JR is next.
No, JR went.
No, it's
Steve.
So
it's
Gristle
Steve.
Bissell.
Okay.
Gristle
Come on, Gristle. Come on now.
And it's Junior as well. Junior, not
thank you.
JR.
Yep, Junior, that's right, Junior.
So what's going on? What am I talking about? What's the topic right now?
You ended the space. That's what that is.
And so you're getting ready
that.
for the closing comments, and when you are done talking, go ahead and mute yourself. When you mute yourself, it'll be Tim's indication to end the space. You're the last
You
speaker.
got all the pressure on you right now.
So first, I want to say big W's to Jimmy Crackcorn, aka the Potato King. He will be dubbed from here on out. I want to say, I love and appreciate everybody in this community. It's made a spot in my heart that I didn't know was possible from video games that everyone told me didn't exist and was something that I could never really enjoy as much as I wanted to. But I thank all of you guys for this.
thank you all for listening. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter every Tuesday if you want to speak, talk about my team, talk about life. Join us. Join us.